Get
Yo, Brooklyn. All right, y'all. That's how that probably will be the high point of this episode because y'all see the title of the show. The Brooklyn Nets are finally escaping the NBA lottery. Or are they? Yeah. But before we get into the Nets, I do want to let you guys know that this is 30 teams in 30 days that we are doing here on the panel. If you haven't been tapped in, you missed some good episodes that we got into. We had an episode about the Phoenix Suns on Monday. We had a beautiful episode about the Utah Jazz. We got very nasty yesterday, courtesy of one guy from Houston. I won't mention his name. About the Clippers yesterday. We had Clipper Darrell on yesterday. It was a good episode. We also had my guy Adam come on. It was a great episode. But today, we are going to see if we can make it even better than yesterday, talking about the Brooklyn Nets. Oh, and by the way, if you are an Indiana Pacers fan, or if you cover the Indiana Pacers, or if you just kind of like them, we'll be talking about them tomorrow. Before we do anything, Mars, please set the table about the Brooklyn Nets and their offseason, what they've done, who they've acquired, who they've lost, and all of that good stuff in between.
There's been a bit eventful in terms of who they acquired. They drafted Mikel Brown, which I guess is their big acquisition. They also traded for Julius Randle. In that trade, they got Joshua Jefferson in the draft. They also drafted Tyler Bilodeau out of UCLA, and they acquired Mo Wagner and Keon Ellis as well. They lost Nicholas Claxton to Chicago. Zaire Williams went to the Lakers. Jalen Wilson went to the Hawks. And I believe Malachi Smith is now with the Raptors. So they didn't... They acquired some good players.
You forgot my guy Ochai.
Ochai Agbaji is a free agent, but he hasn't signed anywhere yet. So
they lost him.
He might still be back on the team. That's why I didn't say him. But he is a free agent. If you want me to bring out other people, EJ Liddell is also now a free agent. He was on the Nets last known. And Tyson Etienne was also with them last year, and Trey Scott. But they're all free agents. But those are the players they've lost and are elsewhere in the NBA.
So because we did this yesterday, Mars, I want to make sure that I'm consistent with the renditions because we did this yesterday. I want to make sure that we stay consistent with the renditions. This whole thing started. This is the reason why we are where we are today, because about 6 years ago, the Brooklyn Nets acquired both Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving, and they've both missed.
Oh, that's why he wants to be consistent.
Yes,
Go
absolutely.
Hate on Kyrie.
We're not hating. What they did was, again, we live in an era. We live in an era of parity, and as you all know, we have not had a back-to-back champion in the last 8 years. So I was about to call them the New Jersey Nets. I'm sorry, the Brooklyn Nets. They actually swung for the fences. They lose Kyrie. I mean, they lose Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant for the season. Then they actually get them back. Then they trade Ben Simmons, who's got a back issue. They trade him for James Harden. But they actually had some good pieces. Like Jared Allen was on the crew. The kid that plays for the Cleveland Cavaliers, he was on the crew. They end up trading. They end up trading him. So now we get Kevin Durant, we get Kyrie Irving, and we get James Harden. This group is together for literally 5 minutes. However, when they are together, if I'm not mistaken, Miles, I think they were like 16-6 when they played together or something like that. They were like 10 or 15 games over 500. Well, this thing isn't working out. Kyrie Irving ends up getting hurt. They get as close as they possibly can in 21 when they lose to Milwaukee in the East semis in Game 7 in overtime. That's unfortunate. And then the next year they end up getting swept by the Boston Celtics. Now this thing's over. They trade James Harden. In addition to trading James Harden, now it's time to move on from Kevin Durant because Sean Marks has already made it clear that he's not interested in extending Kyrie Irving. So he ends up moving on from Kyrie Irving. So now we blow this thing up completely. Since then, they have not had a plan in terms of who we're moving forward with. I actually had a conversation with you guys a couple of maybe I think it was last season when I said that they can't bust on everybody. Well, I mean, did they of the 5 guys that they had? I mean, Igor seems to be one of their better players, and I think that looks like they might have got something in him, and we're gonna find out what they have with this kid, Mikel Brown. With that being said, it seems that they have it seems like they have two foundational pieces, and we're moving forward with these two guys. Danny Wolf doesn't really seem to be working out. They've already moved on from Claxton. In addition to moving on from Claxton, that whole group, Claxton, Kevin Durant, James Harden, Kyrie Irving, they're gone. So now we're moving forward with Mikel Brown, and Igor. That's who we're starting over with. Now we do have Michael Porter Jr., who I think I think he looks good on the moniker, and we traded for Julius Randle. So they are going to be competitive in some games, but this is where we are with this group. And the Eastern Conference has gotten so much better. Where does that now leave the Brooklyn Nets? Are they a playoff team? I don't think that they're a playoff team. I think that they are going to be competitive, but I think that they're going to lose a lot of games late because of that. They don't have that one guy who's closing games out that I can trust. And this is where we are with them.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
No, we're not done here. We are not done here because
Okay,
those guys came to Brooklyn and weren't supposed to win one, not two, not three, not four.
Oh my God.
And instead, they've been in the lottery. Not one, not two, not three, not four. They technically only got 2 lottery picks, but they should have been in the lottery 4 straight years. It hasn't really been so good for the Nets ever since, they signed those 2 guys.
Well, is anyone up here high on the Nets?
Define high.
Yeah, like what kind of high?
They can beat expectations.
What's their expectations?
I don't.
I mean, their expectations are they're in the basement of the Eastern Conference this year. They're going to be not so great to watch, and they're not going to have their draft pick because it's a swap right with Houston. So they don't have their lottery pick, by the way, just so people know. 2027 and 2029 have swap rights with Houston. It is ouch, indeed.
So really quickly, Penn, I don't think they better than
and chill right quick. Swipe it. Can you get their over under or more or less?
So really quickly, Penn, I don't think they're better than Miami. I don't think they're better than Washington. I don't think they're better than Toronto. I don't think they're better than Philly. I don't think they're better than Orlando. I don't think they're better than the Knicks. I don't think they're better than Atlanta. I don't think they're better than Indiana. I don't think they're better than Cleveland. I don't think they're better than Boston.
Their win-loss total right now on a site is 24.5.
And I think
I think they can win 25 games. I think they can win more than 24.5.
Okay.
The problem is that post Kevin Durant and Kyrie, they just didn't have a piece either. And I think Igor Demon last year probably is the first guy that feels like a building block for them. Mikel Brown Jr. I'm very excited about. But it's a strange roster, man. This is a very, very strange roster. It's one of those rosters where I think the front office as well felt like we have to be somewhat competitive. Let's try and win some games because you don't want to be in the relegation zone. But I think they ultimately got to be there anyway. But they didn't have a guy. Like we spoke about it yesterday with Keaton Wagler. If you don't have a guy, it's hard, man. And when you don't have those picks, it's hard. So them to not have their picks as well in 27 and 29 is not good for a team where I think outside of Igor Demon, do you guys think that any of these guys can be stars?
I'm gonna find. I got to see what Brown looks like first before I make.
Sorry, and Brown.
Yeah, but outside of them two, no, I'm not sure what I'm looking at in terms of these guys actually being stars. That's why with the pieces that they have, like to be honest with you, I'm trading MPJ. I'm trading MPJ, and I'm seeing if I could get my one back. That's what because I'm seeing Moss. He's 26
trading
years
him
old.
to Houston.
I don't know.
He's up for an extension as well.
That's how you're getting.
Well, then you're not getting your pick back. You're just getting a pick.
But here's what I'm saying. If I just want to make sure I'm following you, they've lost their first round pick. Is that correct?
No, so their draft assets they have available. They have a 2027 first that's coming from New York for the Mikel Bridges.
Right. They got 5 of those.
They have their own, but it's a swap with Houston in 2027. So they have a swap available. Houston's going to take the better of their pick or Houston's pick. They have the second round pick from LA from this year. In 2028, they have their own first round pick. They have the Philadelphia 76ers first round pick that's protected 1 through 8. They got 3 second round picks in 2028. They have a swap that is going to have access between Houston, Dallas, and Phoenix. That pick's been traded a bunch of times. 2029, they got the Knicks 2029 first. They got 4 seconds that year, which are valuable in this league now because of the CBA and money and contract. They have their own 2030 first round pick. They got 4 second-round picks that year. They got 2 first-round picks in 2031, and then they have 2 more first-round picks, including Denver's in 2032. So they actually have a lot of draft assets available to them.
So again, so let's rewind. So them 5 ones that you just talked about, Swiper, that go to Houston. So the Knicks are going to be a top seed in the East. So with the Knicks being a top seed in the East, and it's a swap, those picks are going to be late in the first round. I don't need those picks. I need to move up in the draft because the better players normally are higher in the draft. So the 26th pick, the 24th pick, that doesn't work for me. I need to move up in the draft. So how am I going to move up in the draft? To your point, Mars, if I'm trading MPJ, I don't know who I'm trading him to, but what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get him to, I don't know, maybe.
Well, they have their own pick next year, though.
Who only has their own pick?
The Nets have their own pick in 2028. They only have a swap.
Somehow their pick is better than the Rockets.
Right, so they don't.
Well, they have a swap.
They don't have control of their pick.
That's the point.
No, I was saying they have 2 swaps with Houston. I'm saying they have 2 swaps.
But they get the worst of the picks.
Right.
Get the
no,
worst
I'm not disagreeing.
So
with
they
that,
don't have their pick.
Like, they don't.
No, not.
Yeah, you're saying they have their pick.
Not
like,
next year.
Yeah,
this is what I'm saying. We're talking through the point. I'm saying 2028.
Saying that I have something.
2028 they have their own pick. In 2027 they have the swap. Mars, and you're correct. In 2029 is the swap. Yeah. So 2020. Yeah, 2028.
In 2028, do I have my own pick or do I have?
Yes, they do have their own pick.
In 28, so 27 you don't. 28 you do. 29 you don't. Because you're not allowed to trade
3 straight
back to back. Right. So every other year I don't have my pick. It's a pick swap is what it sounds like. So next year I don't have my own pick. It's a pick swap. In 28 I do. In 29 I don't. With that being said, again, these are late first round picks. I think that's the point that
potentially
these are ultimately going to be, because again, I think the Knicks are going to be good. And if the Knicks are good, I promise you, Houston is not going to keep their pick and go, all right, Brooklyn, you can have that pick. No, they're going to swap with them, and they're going to take the better of the pick, which means that I'm going to end up with a
Chill. The Rockets, they might not.
They might not what?
Sure. They might not be all that good. We don't know.
They might not be. Likelihood is they'll be better than the Nets regardless, which means best case scenario is both these picks end up in the lottery, but the Nets still get the worst pick of the 2.
They still get
that's the best case scenario.
So if Houston is in the back of the lottery at like 12 or 13 and Brooklyn ends up at 4, guess who's getting that 4 pick? It's not going to be Brooklyn, right? So
yeah, but chill.
Best case scenario is they somehow fall 1 and 2, so the Nets get the number 2 pick,
which is not happening.
On the bright side, though, let's say that they get a pick between 10 and 14.
Right.
They'll have that pick, and once again, on the bright side, they're getting the Knicks pick, so they will have 2 first round picks.
But I do now,
regardless, it might be 2 picks after 15. Still 2 first round picks.
It's not super obvious, but this team's in a better position than people are realizing. The downside is obviously, not having control of 2027 and 2029 is the only downside right now. In my opinion, I'm actually pretty high on this team. That's why I asked if anyone else up here like this team, because I'm actually pretty high on this team.
What do you like about them, Penn?
I like a lot of things about this team, and I would love to tell you about it. But first, I would like to tell you guys that, I'm pretty good at identifying things that are about to go up. I'm pretty good at it, actually.
Right.
I did tell y'all. I told y'all all last year. Scotty Barnes didn't buy playoffs. Oh shit, should have bought. Ron, if you refresh your little messages on Telegram on July 22nd, the first time in my life I told you to buy a stock. Is that true?
Penn, I don't
Penn
know.
Talking to us like Scotty Barnes was Uber and we passed on it. Like, what's going on, Penn?
I just wanted to explain why he believes in the Nets. I don't need to hear why he's a prophet. Like, just tell me why you believe in the Nets.
You already know I'm a prophet. But I was bringing that Ron thing up because I ain't never told Ron to buy a stock before in my life. But on July 22nd, I told him to buy one, and that stock is up like 60% in like the last 38 days. So that I'm just letting you know, like, I'm pretty good at identifying what's about to happen. And Day'Ron Sharpe finally being the starting center in Brooklyn is a very good thing.
I agree.
Day'Ron Sharpe, in my opinion, was probably a better player than Nick Claxton last year. So people thinking like the sticker price of Nick Claxton, Nick Claxton moved to Chicago. Yeah, they got rid of the hindrance to their starting center finally starting, and they locked him up long term. Not to mention, I do like Josh Minott. I don't know how many people up here like Josh Minott. I like Josh Minott. Mo Wagner, that's a really reasonable deal. It's a really reasonable tradable contract. Julius Randle has a lot to prove. Michael Porter Jr. has a lot to prove. These are guys who they're in that place in their career between 28 and 32 where guys are still productive and they're still chasing the bag for one final contract. Then you look at Yegor Dillman, who, in my opinion, has been so much better as an NBA player than he was at BYU and got so much better in the summer league and now is looking to take another step forward. A lot of concerns with him shooting at BYU. He solved it. Now it's paint finishing. Well, in summer league, he solved it. If you show me a prospect where you tell me these are your two weaknesses and they come back summer after summer and they solve both their problems, I'm like, oh shit, you actually have a chance to be really good.
Yeah,
I would take Yegor Dillman long-term over Josh Giddey. So that's me personally. Long-term, I'm taking him over Josh Giddey. I don't know about Mikel Brown Jr. I might have felt better if they drafted somebody else, but there's upside there. And then I think their great thing is going to be trades because they do have a lot of assets in terms of future picks that they could move. And they have some really reasonable contracts. And I love their head coach, Jordi Fernández. Now, he hasn't had a chance to coach a really good team or a team that was trying to win, but they're trying to win this year. I personally think they're going to shatter 24 wins. I think they'll probably go for like 33, 34 wins. I think they'll be reasonable.
If that was the bar for beating expectations, I could get to that point. Yeah, that's why I said I think they could win more than 24. I said they can win 25 or more. So I agree with that. And I do like the same players for the most part you like. I like Day'Ron Sharpe starting, and I do agree he was better than Nick Claxton last year. I think Nick Claxton's been steadily regressing for like the last 3 years. But and Josh Minot is a good wing, size, shoots the three really well. I think he's a beneficial player. I actually think he should probably be on a winning team, but that's a different conversation. And I like Yegor and I like Mikel Brown as like your foundational backcourt. I think MPJ on a contract year either gets traded at the deadline or plays well enough to where you can see him as like part of the future on a hopefully not a max for the Nets for him, whatever, but like have him around long term, kind of like 3 extra years. And Julius Randle, I have no thoughts on him at all, but they're just not that good. But I don't think they're trying to be that good. I just don't think they're trying to be terrible and just develop. And that's kind of
But they have to move.
There's no incentive for them to be bad at all.
They have to move.
I know.
Michael Porter Jr. is going to have to get moved at some stage. He was extension eligible, I think, in July. And he's on expiring money, so it's going to be interesting to see what type of deal I think they eventually settle on for him, because I don't think he's a part of their sort of long term future unless they can land on a reasonable extension. But I think he probably wants one more bag, Michael Porter Jr. But that's going to be one where maybe they do get some draft capital. Maybe he goes crazy. I know he was like a fringe all-star last year. A lot of people were advocating him to be an all-star, maybe over Pascal. So maybe he has another year like that again, and then they finally can move him and get some stuff. But Julius Randle and MPJ, it's gonna be a tough watch, I think, sometimes with them.
Yes, it is.
I like the backcourt, but I think with them it's gonna be interesting how they're gonna coexist.
I just look at this roster, and Penn, I think you illuminated a bunch of things that can be good with this group. I see a bunch of cast-offs. That's what I do. I see a bunch of cast-offs. I see a bunch of guys that are playing for deals. I see a bunch of guys who are still having to try to prove themselves. And when you got guys like that, that means that we're bumping heads. And if we're bumping heads, we are not on the same page. Because to your point, MPJ comes off the books after this year. This isn't a situation where next season, he's got a player option. No, he's done. His deal is up after this year. So Brooklyn has got 2 choices: deal him, or he walks out the front door. I have never been an advocate of guys walking out the front door for nothing, especially a guy of Michael Porter Jr.
Can re-sign him,
but you're not.
How do we know that? He's 28 years old.
Yeah, you guys are a lot more certain on that than I am.
Depends on the
look. Just because they're not going over, just because they're not tripping over their own feet to re-sign him early, doesn't mean they can't re-sign him later. We see it all the time. They have money to do it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The Jazz are going to trade Keontae George next year just because they didn't extend him.
I may be one of the few people who's pretty modestly high on Sean Marks as an executive because he's had some pretty big blunders. But I do appreciate the fact that he doesn't miss big. Like, Michael Porter Jr., that was a pretty safe bet on upside. And honestly, if they tried to trade him last year, maybe they could have even like won on that. You know, I think he's played well for them. Even Julius Randle, like what did they give up for him?
Not much.
Exactly.
Not much.
So they're buying low. They're taking these marginal risks. And from an asset management perspective, this is like just consistently looking at undervalued assets. And, you know, like you might not be super high on Keon Ellis. His contract is very valuable, right?
But again,
there's a mutual option on the second year. So it's a $9 million. Like you need trade partners. Okay. Like the Nets are not, this is not a basketball team. This is an asset farm right now.
Right. See, that's the problem that I'm having. This goes back to the 24, 25 wins because we got a bunch of guys that have other incentives. And one of those incentives is not to win. One of those incentives isn't to win.
Which player on this team strikes you as a player who doesn't want to win? I mean, you are probably the highest person up here on Julius Randle.
I am high on Julius Randle.
Randle,
I think that Julius Randle.
Do you think he's a winner?
He's not coming to this group to win. No. That's not that's what he's not coming to Brooklyn to do. He is not coming to Brooklyn to win.
You don't think he has unfinished business in New York?
No, I don't think he has unfinished business. He's got a player option after this year for $35 million.
I mean, he's coming to play well so that he can get another long-term deal, and by playing well, probably leads to them winning more games anyway. So,
or does it, Mars? Because we've seen guys aren't that good.
Well, him playing well isn't going to be just him putting up, to Ron's point, empty stats. I think teams at this point are aware of what empty stats look like. They're not just going to watch Julius Randle hijack the offense every play to average 26 and 10 and then be like, oh, Julius Randle, here's 30 million. Like, they're not going to do that. They're going to want him to play good basketball, which means it's in Julius Randle's best interest for himself, selfishly. I'm doing that because I don't think it's selfish to want to get yourself paid, but selfishly to play well in a winning context. Play good team basketball so that you can get the long-term deal. And that also benefits the Nets by them now not sucking because their best or second best or third, however good you think he is, one of their best players is now playing well and helping the team.
Right.
Like Julius Randle is in his best interest to not troll the season away.
Now he did
that would be a bad decision.
Which
and they're also big. Like this is a big team, man.
No, I'm not saying
that. Like look at the competitive advantage this team has. Like, and again, I know I said that thing about like people are gonna get caught up on it. Like he said, oh, they're not a basketball team, they're an asset farm. Yeah, but they can also masquerade as a pretty decent basketball team. Like Keon Ellis is not disruptive. He's not great. He's not spectacular, but he's not going to come out there and hijack your offense, right? When I look at somebody like Mo Wagner, like that's a pretty portable player. Every team could use a Mo Wagner as a second or third big, you know, off the bench. Like that's a reasonable player. He provides you a decent floor offensively. He has some skills and he's a pretty decent defender. Like these are all these players. And honestly, like the positional size is important here. Mikel Brown is like 6'5".
Yep, big guard.
Yegor Diamond is like 6'8", 6'9". Okay, you know, Julius Randle, Michael Porter, these are huge players. They could run out a lineup. I don't know what position Yegor is going to play this year with Mikel playing, but like I'm assuming 1-2. So their backcourt is 6'5" and 6'8".
Yeah.
Their front court is 6'9", 6'10", and 6'10". That's a pretty big team. So I'm just saying, like, they're not the easiest team to match up with. And, you know, if Jordi Fernández is as good a coach as I suspect he is, which I've been very high on Jordi for like years. We're talking like 6 years now. He's been one of my favorite assistant coaches, now coaches in the NBA.
It does help that he was in
If
Toronto.
he can stitch it together.
I view at him, so
he was never in Toronto. He was in Sacramento.
I thought he was in Toronto. I'm sorry.
No. Yeah. So I mean, I've been a big fan of his, like internationally as well. So again, this is one of the youngest coaches in the league. I think he's got some bright ideas. And now we've removed the ankle weights shows. I like to say, like, we've removed the whole incentive to tank, and we're not getting uninspired random minutes for Ben Seraph anymore. Okay, Ben Seraph, if you want minutes, you're gonna have to actually earn them. If you don't earn them, we got 5 players at your position who are better than you.
Yeah.
So again, like some of these teams that intentionally lost last year, there's like a deliberate, like, oh, well, they won 20 games. They can't win more than 24 games. It's like, bro, they won 20 games. They were trying to lose. Like, I don't think this team's trying to lose at all because they have zero incentive to lose. Forget flattened lottery odds. They don't have their pick. So right now, we're going to be trying to win games in April. Even if we only got 30 wins and we're out of the playoff picture, we're still trying to get to 32 wins because what's the point of losing? And I think Julius Randle, Michael Porter Jr., and Day'Ron Sharpe, that kind of front court can get you 32 wins, 33 wins, easy. So again, 24, shatter it.
I'm getting sold on Brooklyn because
I think they're
You're getting sold on them to win low 30s instead of low.
That's what it sounds like. What's going on?
That's a big difference.
What's happening?
I'm saying no pretending they're going to make the play-in or getting at the 8th seed.
No, they're not
saying that, but they're not as
bad as we think that they.
They're not in the gutter. Yeah, they're not in the gutter.
They're not what they're not what they are last year, which kind of is interesting considering how critical you guys are. I mean, I'm a big Julius Randle fan, but you guys are ridiculously critical of Julius Randle, who, by the way, is, to your point, Mars, shown that he can play better in better situations. This Brooklyn Nets situation is not a better situation than when he was with the Knicks. It's not a better situation than when he was in Minnesota. So the incentive to play better and hijack the incentive to hijack the offense could be more here than it would be in Minnesota, even when he was hijacking the offense, in Brooklyn. So now I'm in Minnesota. Now I'm in Brooklyn, where we're not as good, and they're going to rely on me to be more of a bucket getter, to be more of a ball handler, to be more of a scorer, right? To be more of those things, which means that I'm going to have to hijack the offense even more. So him and Michael Porter Jr., who've never seen a shot that he doesn't like. So now I'm playing off of Mikel Brown, who I don't know who he is yet, but I do think that he's a foundational piece to what they have. And Yegor is still developing. It sounds like a lot of guys tripping over each other. That's what it sounds like to me.
No, it sounds like internal competition, and that's a good thing.
That's
now,
not a good thing, Penn. No, it isn't.
Internal competition is a great thing, Cho. Okay, first of all,
not on a bad team. It's not.
Internal competition pushes guys, especially guys. If you bring in professionals, right? Like I like the panel for one reason. We got a lot of internal competition. We got a lot of strong personalities up here who are doing their own thing. And if Damian raises his game up, like if Damian is playing through the flu right now, Damian's having his Michael Jordan flu game right now. I better remember that next time. You know, if Damian is representing PC everywhere he goes, I gotta remember that, because Damian is setting a new standard. That's internal competition. You want your team to be good. Anyone who's ever played on a good team would refute
is that what's going on
your
in
logic.
Brooklyn, though? Like if you
yes, you have brought professional grinders, man. Joshua Jefferson is a grinder. He's going to push people. Like I'm not saying he's going to play major minutes.
True, though, Penn, like a lot of these guys are
Ron,
here.
Excuse yourself,
Ron. But a lot of these guys, to your point, are grinders, and they're here for one thing. I mean, how many of these guys have found homes in other places? Like I thought Terrence Mann, like he had found a home in.
You trying to say they're homeless?
Well, I'm glad you brought that up.
No, they're couch to couch.
I'm glad you did. That's where I was going with this, Ron, because like I thought Terrence Mann had found a home in Los Angeles, only to find out that nope, that's not the place for him. I thought that Julius Randle was going to be in Minnesota for quite a while.
What does that have to do with what he's going to do for them?
It has everything to do because it's a group of cast-offs.
That's my point right there. And with a group of cast-off, I'm short-sighted. I'm not.
I'll give you another group of cast-offs. The 2013 Toronto Raptors. That was a group of cast-offs.
And what did they do?
Johnson wasn't a cast-off. Kyle Lowry wasn't a cast-off. Sometimes
what did they do?
We the North.
No, what did they do in 2013?
They made the playoffs. 2013, 2014, they made the playoffs. They were about to have their entire roster gutted. I'm trying to tell you, there's surprising upset on this team. Let me put it this way. Swipe said 24 and a half. 24 and a half. If I'm not wrong, Swipe, you said the win total for them was 24 and a half, right? I'm saying 34. Do you know what 24 to 34 represents?
24 to 34? I don't.
It represents a 42% beat. Is there another team that can beat their win total expectation by 42%? Because that to me is like insane. Now, granted, you could say, well, for the Knicks to beat their by 42, it's impossible. I get it, but I'm just saying, like, this is a team that can genuinely shatter expectations because I think they have a lot of professionals. You can say what you want about Danny Wolf. That's a pro basketball player. Yeah, like I know pro when I see a pro, and I know a knucklehead when I see a knucklehead. See that man kind of squinting in the middle of the screen? That's a knucklehead right there, right? He kind of derails the show, right? A lot of turnovers, a lot of fumbles, right? A lot of
sounds like the Brooklyn Nets, like a lot of.
I'm couch to couch right now too. So yeah, you're right.
lot of uncertainty with these dudes. A lot of uncertainty. And that 2013 Toronto Raptors team was not good, man. They missed the playoffs.
2013, 2014. So 2013, 2014. So 2013 was not good. But the 2014 team that eventually did make the playoffs, a lot of those guys were cast-offs. The guys who were drafted were like Terrence Ross, Jonas Valanciunas, DeMar DeRozan.
Yep.
But everybody else, like a lot of those guys were just kind of like guys that everyone kind of gave up on. And I'm just saying, like, this is a team full of professionals. And I keep going back to professionals because Josh Minot inspired a lot of confidence in me last year. First of all, I've always been a fan of Josh Minot, going way back. But, you know, I loved him in Minnesota. Thought he should have gotten a better opportunity. Last year, he ends up in Boston. Mm-hmm. Then he gets shipped to the Nets. This is the one guy who got up in front of the podium and was just like, I can't stand this shit. I can't stand like what we're doing here. I want to win one for the fans. I want the people to be proud. Like that, to me, that's culture. You need somebody in your locker room to give a shit about the fans, to give a shit about the product.
He was in Minnesota, or when he was in
no,
Boston?
last year when he got to Brooklyn and they were losing the way that they were losing, you could see it kind of wore on him a little bit. And he got in front of the podium and he really, I feel like that's how culture has changed. Now, look, like you may not think too much of Drake Powell, but he comes from a good culture too. That's a good. I think sometimes like you just need good people in your locker room, people who care about putting in the extra hours.
I could
Joe, if practice is at 7 a.m. and most of your team is rolling in at 7:01, that's a bad culture. This Brooklyn Nets
they
team
can
is
roll in at 5:01, 4:01. They are not going to be a good team by any stretch of the imagination. I've had to do this to you guys the last 3 episodes. And this team, and I did this with the Jazz.
Who the fuck
this team isn't even. They're not better than the Jazz.
You could have started this series out with any team you wanted. If you're just going to shit on these teams, why are we even talking about?
No, I'm telling the truth. So you could tell your truth about the team, but I can't tell my truth about the team.
There's an upside.
I actually watched the team.
No. You can tell your truth about the Brooklyn Nets, but I can't tell mine.
Your truth is not the truth about the Brooklyn Nets.
Oh, now my truth ain't the truth, but your truth is the truth. What I'm saying is, I sincerely believe that this team is going to be the worst team in the East. Chicago will be better than them. Milwaukee will be better than them. And everybody else, they're not in the conversation with anybody else. It's just Chicago and Milwaukee. I would not be surprised if this team won under 20 games next year.
Garbage.
Michael Porter Jr. is a walking injury risk. Respectfully, like I'm not trying to dump on him, but like his back could go out at any moment in time. Julius Randle
will hijack the offense. That's going to happen.
Like if Julius Randle's your leading scorer,
and I think he's going to help.
I think the objective should be to try and win more games. Obviously, they won 20 games. I think though, to Ron's point. I think there comes a point where culture, I like Jordi Fernández, but there comes a point where I think culture can only take you so far because you need some talent in the room too. And they just they just got young guys that we don't know what they are, to Chill's point. But I think, honestly, there's every chance this might be the worst team in the league next year, record-wise.
I just see a bunch of cast offs, Dame. That's what
I just think that, like, and that's the reality. That's okay. You can start building some stuff. Maybe some guys start to pop off, but I also don't see that much in Drake Powell. Nolan Traore, I didn't see that much. Ben Sarif, I didn't see that much. So I was down when they drafted a cluster of guards anyway. I thought it was bizarre. But you have to have talent in the room too, man. And you can build a great culture. I think it's going to carry them. It's going to be good for these guys to be within that culture, but like you got to get some talent over the years. I think it's going to be a slow burn for Brooklyn, man. I think they're going to be pretty poor for a while, man. So, unfortunately.
Penn, let me ask you this question. Each of these teams that I'm thinking, and I ain't even talking about the better teams in the East, right? Okay. I ain't talking about, I'm not talking about the Knicks. I'm not talking about the better teams in the East. I'm talking about the lower level teams in the East. Like, I think Indiana is going to be right in that space, but like Atlanta, what is the Brooklyn Nets like? What are they hanging their hat on this season? Like, if we're gonna win games, to your point, what are we hanging our hat on? What is our staple this year?
Showing up to practice early.
Well, showing up to practice early is important, Ron. What I would say is obviously effort, consistency, length, size, and speed. Mm-hmm. Jordi Fernández loves to move the basketball. Mm-hmm. He wants to play a certain way. I think he has 2 very talented players. Look, it's one thing to say Drake Powell didn't show anything, or Ben Seraph isn't good, or Noah Clowney ain't shit, or Yegor Diemen is not that guy, or Keon Ellis isn't good. But these are not stars. And I'm not arguing that Michael Porter Jr. and Julius Randle are like superstars, but these are like guys who can stabilize an offense.
They're better than average.
But they're way better than average.
That.
First of all, they're like, I think some people might push back on Julius Randle being a top 100 player. I don't think you should, but sure, if you want to really get nasty with the Julius Randle criticism,
top 75.
Sure.
Are there 50 players in the game better than Julius Randle? 50.
50, yes. 100, hell no. And Michael Porter Jr. at his best, when he's firing and he's healthy, I don't think there are 40 players better than him. So, these two guys, what they do is they stabilize offensive possessions. They give you a bailout. They give you a guy who can get his own shot. Now everyone can settle into their roles. Now Day'Ron Sharpe don't have to do as much. He can finish. He can play off of Julius Randle. Julius Randle also a pretty decent playmaker. For a big, he's a pretty decent playmaker. I don't say he's good. I don't say he's great. He's not Jokic, but he's okay. Like he can stabilize some things. And I think sometimes like you just need a floor. Like you need a floor for an offensive possession. And I'm sorry, you take Michael Porter Jr. and Julius Randle off this team, you ain't got a floor because you ain't got a creator. You just running in circles, passing the ball around, hot potato. You don't have a single player who can drag the double team. Michael Porter Jr. can draw a double team. Julius Randle in a wrong matchup can draw a double team.
Right.
And so there comes your offensive advantage. I understand why people would say the Bucks can be better. Sure they can. But there's a lot of things that have to go right for the Bucks to be a halfway decent team. They're integrating a bunch
for the Brooklyn Nets too. A lot of
the Nets have a lot of continuity and they have low ego players. I think the Bucks
continuity.
Tyler Hero is looking for a new contract. I don't trust Khalil where
Michael Porter Jr. is looking for a new contract. Okay. And I don't trust Julius Randle.
And this is where I'm saying, like, if you have players without contracts, players without homes, as you call them, couch surfers or whatever, you have players that are looking to prove themselves. That's a good thing. Where it becomes a bad thing is when they're in an environment where that isn't checked, where there aren't standards, where there isn't like a professional, a head coach who can tie it all together. In and of itself, a player looking to prove himself isn't a bad thing. It's only a bad thing when they're allowed to do whatever the fuck they want without any consequences. I don't think that's happening here. Again, and it's going to come down to two things. Michael Porter Jr. and Julius Randle and Mo Wagner's health, because I think Mo will be somewhat significant for this team, and all three guys have had injuries. And I think it'll also come down to the growth of Yegor Diemen, Mikel Brown Jr., and possibly Joshua Jefferson, or at least one young player stepping up. So, and I think Day'Ron Sharpe and I think Day'Ron Sharpe and Josh Minot and guys like Noah Clowney, I think they just provide Keon Ellis. They just provide like a stable floor around these players. So again, like I'm not saying they're going to shatter our position. I'm not saying they're going to be in the play-in or the playoffs. I'm just saying they're the worst team in the East, I think is wrong.
So really quickly, Penn. So MPJ comes off the books after this year. Julius Randle got a player option after this year, which he's definitely exercising. He's not leaving $35 million on the table. Terrence Mann is on the books for 2 more years at 15 and 16. Sharpe he's got a player option. He's got a team option after this year. They probably will pick that up. They probably will pick that up. Mo Wagner, he's on the books for 9 this year and next year. Mikel, he's a rook, as you know. Keon Ellis is on the books for a little bit of money. Yegor's on a rook deal. Noah Clowney, team. Minot, after this year, team. Nolan, team. Drake, team after this year. Ben Sarah, team after this year. Joshua Jefferson, team after this year. Like a lot of these guys, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, Seth, half the crew that's on team options after this year. Now, yes, cool. The incentive is to play better so I could get my contract picked up, right? But on the flip side to that, do I care about us winning? Is that going to get my contract picked up, or me getting busy? Is that going to get my contract picked up? Because we've seen guys get busy, but they not win.
But you're only thinking about this from a perspective of like what it does for the Nets. What about, we get to the deadline. First of all, the team, you say we're in the age of parity, right? Sure. Everybody thinks they have a chance right now. I'm sure there's some Bucks fans when we do the Bucks podcast, they're going to be like, oh, but look at the talent. Look at Tyler Hero. Look at this. I'm sure there's some Chicago Bulls fans like, oh, you see Caleb Wilson and you see Norman Powell. We could do something. Everybody thinks they can do something right now. But the truth is at the deadline or close to October, December, we're going to find out some of these teams actually do suck. And maybe at that point, one of the teams that's actually not sucking and is pulling away is like, oh, I could really use a Michael Porter Jr. or I could really use a Keon Ellis. The Nets have a really, you know what the Nets are? They're like the Portland Trailblazers were a few years ago. Remember when you remember that thing I said about the Portland Trailblazers like 2 years ago, where I said they have the best collection of third and fourth options in the NBA?
I do remember.
I think the Nets are like that, where there's a team that and these contracts are movable. They're all movable. So I think they're in a better position than people give them credit for.
So we clear. So
I think there's just so many areas, Chill. This is a team that ranked last in points per game. This is the worst 3-point shooting team in the league last year. This is the worst rebounding team in the league last year. This is the second worst team protecting the ball last year. There's so many areas. It's all like it can only get better from here, I'm assuming. But there's just so many areas, bro.
That just doesn't bode well. And to Penn's point, a bunch of these guys who are great second and third guys. I don't know if you know this, Penn, but that Trailblazer team, if I'm not mistaken, you can fact check this. I think 2 years ago, I think they won like 25 games. They were garbage. They were trash. Now, if we're moving forward, okay. Now we're trying to build something moving forward. Yes. This season, on the other hand, I got a bunch of cast-offs, and half these guys are on team options after this season, which means we're probably going to see a completely different Nets roster next year. A Nets roster.
We could. And you know, the good thing is they don't have contracts that are albatross contracts. But if we're going to see what's good, Connor, before our host calls you Caleb, what's good, Connor?
What's up, brother? If we're going to see a completely different roster, to my man Damien's point, I mean, if we're at the bottom of the league in almost everything, right? If we're at the bottom of the league in almost everything, and we're probably going to get flipped next year, what is the incentive? I know Jordi Fernández is a damn good motivator, but where is the incentive from a player's perspective for us getting that much better? Like, we're at the bottom of the league in everything.
This is why you bring in good culture, guys. This is why you bring in a Josh Minot. This is why you bring in a Daron Sharp. I have watched these guys a lot more than you have.
Josh Minot is not changing no franchise culture, and he's not putting more wins on the table for no franchise. I like Josh Minot. In fact, I actually think Josh Minot can help a contender. A team like this,
he couldn't help Boston. He could not help
Josh Minot not even about to start.
Joe Mazzulla was like,
he's not even gonna play over 20 minutes.
Ron, at what point are you gonna watch what the league is doing to your favorite players like Benny the Bucket and Jonathan Kuminga, guys that you have sat up here and put your save a hoe cape on for and been like, that guy's great, that guy's amazing, that guy's gonna get paid, that guy's gonna put buckets, and then what? The league responds by giving them both a combined 4 years, $29 million. I'm telling you, you're missing the value. You're missing the value proposition on basketball right now. You're focusing on, bucket getting, and you're missing like stable floor, like defensive, upside. I'll give me Josh Minot as an 8th or 9th guy any day of the week. Half this team is appealing to half this league. That's what I'm saying.
I agree, as 8th or 9th guys. Other than
that's exactly what a championship team is going to be looking for at the deadline. At which point, if the Nets are bad, they have a great pivot strategy, which is to say, I can move Mo Wagner and I can eat extra money. I can take on a bad contract and I can give them let's say I want to trade Keon Ellis and Mo Wagner. That's a combined $18 million. I can take on, I don't know, $26 million, $25 million in bad money, and I can get 2 extra draft picks for it. And by the way, I'm giving a contending team 2 players who can actually play. You know what I mean? Like, without fucking everything up in the deadline. There's more calculus to this. And
Penn, I agree with that part. I just don't I agree that they have assets that teams around the league would love to have. It's a lot of teams that would like to have Michael Porter Jr. and what he brings to the table. It's a lot of teams that would like to have a Josh Minot, how you just mentioned. And there's some other pieces in there too. Like, I agree with that. I just don't agree with the fact that these pieces together are going to actually do anything close to being meaningful. But Penn, enough of me yapping, enough of you yapping. Swiper, enough of you yapping. Connor, it's a pleasure to have you up here.
Ron, everyone on the panel, thank you guys for having me. Looking forward to talking some Brooklyn Nets basketball. August, it's like about a month till till training camp, so the dead period in the league, but love the series that you guys are doing. Been tuning in, so looking forward to talking some Nets.
And before we dive into anything, I do have a question right off the bat I want to ask you. But before we do that, can you tell the people who you are, where you're from, where they can find your content at, and what you do best?
Yeah, well, again, thank you guys for having me. I cover the Brooklyn Nets, read my work, written form, netsdaily.com. You guys can follow me on Twitter at Connor, CONNOR_long15. YouTube channel, Daily Brooklyn Nets Podcast, keeping it going throughout the dead period of the Brooklyn Boys show. So you guys could find me there covering the Nets. It is hopefully going to see more winning basketball this year than last year. At least we hope. So I'm looking forward to talking about the team. And again, thank you guys for inviting me on the show.
So you know, Connor, so you know, Connor, when you come into somebody's house, they introduce you and they tell everybody about you. Like, you're not supposed to come in and tell everybody about yourself. No, you tell her. Like, if you walk in my house, hey, this is my man Connor. We go to school together. We do this. But this is what we got to deal with on the regular with this dude up here. Garbage, trash.
Hey, Connor, well, let me introduce you to somebody up here.
And by the way,
the grumpy uncle. This is the grumpy uncle that has rage baited his way to 1 million followers on TikTok. That's him.
Connor, you cover the Nets and the Jets. How are you so happy?
Oh man, I don't know. I'm just used to losing. It's like you get used to it over time. So
like a 34 win season might be like, damn, that's a
dude. 34 wins. Sign me up. 34 wins. That's 14 more than last year.
This is optimism. This is called balanced optimism.
This
I like
dude around him every day. He think they're gonna be trash. Penn trying to sell us he's trying to sell us a lemon. That's what he's trying to do. He 100% trying to sell us a lemon. And by the way, Connor, you got to fix your own plate too when you come to the house. Like, according to Ron, like, you got to get up, you got to go.
Think I'm gonna fix the plate?
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I mean. You got to fix your own plate. All that stuff.
Connor, you a pretty good looking guy, but you got double D's. I can't. You a man. You gotta go get that plate yourself, buddy.
I respect it.
hey, Connor, though, in all seriousness, I got. Before I get to the actual question I wanted to ask you, what team would you rather win a championship first, the Nets or the Jets?
Fandom wise, I'd have to go with the Jets. I mean, you can make the case that the Nets, it hasn't been done. I understand that. It's like, you guys are basketball guys, love basketball, but I mean, there's something special about the 17-game season in the NFL and like every little move, every snap mattering and being so focused from week 1 through week 18. And also, it's like, the Jets haven't made the playoffs in almost 2 decades. So if they could come out and somehow win a Super Bowl, like the Nets, I've at least seen consistent stretches. And throughout the course of an 82-game season, a lot can fluctuate, a lot could change. There could be a coaching change and miss the middle of the season. And, you get a little spark. In football, it's kind of like, okay, you start 0-3, well, your season's pretty much over. You have a 10% chance of making the playoffs. Whereas the NBA, like, you could get off to a 2-12 start and rebound and be competitive and finish the year on a high note. So I just think there's something special about it, being able to dominate in such a small sample size.
So to people who don't follow football, the Jets last made the playoffs in 2010. Connor, you were how old in 2010?
I wasn't alive, actually. I was born in 2011.
And just so you clear, and so we don't just say that they made the playoffs. They was in the AFC Championship.
Yeah,
they weren't a good team. It was in the AFC Championship. It was a game away from going to the bowl game. So be clear.
And they were good that year. And that was a back to second leg.
You can see the hamster wheel working with Ron right now as he tries to figure out how old Connor is.
They were in the AFC bowl. They were in the AFC Championship on their way to the bowl game.
Ron, did you know you were inviting a minor onto the show?
He did not know that.
Yeah, we have a minor on the show.
No, I can tell.
So, like, Connor, you're welcome here. Like, you have somebody to play with.
So, Connor, were you old enough? It's the summer of 2019. The Brooklyn Nets signed Kyrie and KD. Were you old enough to remember that?
Man, to be honest, that's actually when I started getting into the Nets. That's kind of like how my fandom story originated. You could call me a bandwagon, I guess, because I started my 3 teams before that. I was a hockey, football, and baseball fan. Mets, Jets, and Rangers. Historically, 3 not very good organizations, particularly recently. So I just started getting into the NBA around then. I took all my dad's teams. My dad actually doesn't follow the NBA. I'm out here on Long Island, Brooklyn, train right away. And I'm starting to see this happening. I'm like, I have no chance of seeing a championship or any good ball with any of my other teams. You know what? I'm going to start rooting for the Nets. And looking back, it was a big mistake at the time. And you look at the Knicks, who just won a championship this past year. But look, I'm not a bandwagon in the sense of I hop around teams. I picked my team because I thought they were going to be good. But you know what? Hey, 3 20-win seasons later, one playoff series win later. Since then, I'm still standing and still rooting for this team.
Unlike you, Mars, he is not for the streets. Sure. He actually gets on board and he stays where he is. He is not for the streets. So,
Connor, if you could do one thing in this episode, can you please cook Ron the next time he talks shit about the Nets, so that I can tell Ron that he got cooked by a 15-year-old for the rest of the year?
He just agreed with me. You literally said 34 wins, and he said I will be jumping for joy.
I don't think they're going to win 34 games, to be honest with you.
You're going to be gone.
But you think they're going to win more than 24?
Right now, to kind of spill the popcorn a little bit, I think they're going to win 27 is my prediction.
All right.
That's an
swiper.
Question for you, Connor. Well, you're born in 2011. What got you wanting to do this, and how long have you been doing it for?
Yeah, so I started this when I was not the net show, but I started covering the Jets when I was 12, and it was just I had so many thoughts about the team, and I was so passionate. I was like, you know what? I just want to start an outlet where I can dump all my thoughts. So I started my own podcast, and I started writing. I got credentialed with the team through a website that I still work for called jetsxfactor.com. And then last summer, May, I started up the Net show because my Nets fandom was, starting to grow and reach new heights. And it's you know what? There's nobody really covering this team every day on YouTube in podcast form. So I just took it into my own hands and you know what? I'm going to build it. I'm going to grind it. And here we are working for a site called Nets Daily too. So yeah, this is year 3 of just doing the content in general and just hit my first full year of doing net stuff. So
That's
it's been
dope,
good.
man.
Are you?
Thank you.
So are you also? So you're in school right now, obviously. So you're a sophomore.
Yeah, I'm going into sophomore year. Yeah.
Going into sophomore year. Okay. What do your friends and stuff think about what you're doing already, with all the sports stuff?
They like it. It's just I don't have any many Jet fan friends, so it's they just make fun of me for loving the Jets, and same with the Nets. But it comes with the losing. You get used to it over time.
Sure.
So what? Everybody at your school, they're Giant and Giant Yankees
fans. and
Knicks fans.
Yep, exactly. So I am the triple threat of losing organizations in New York.
Right,
At least you're standing on business, Connor. See, hey, you're learning a lesson very young that a lot of guys up here didn't learn. And you got to find something and stick with it and stand on business.
Exactly. There we go.
I think it's a good time to just ask
when. Since I was his age, because all my friends was Willie Randolph and Ricky Henderson and Don Mattingly. So I fell in love with Darryl Strawberry. We garbage, by the way.
Connor, do you know who Ricky Henderson is?
We got trash.
Yeah, of course.
I don't know.
Shout out Ricky Henderson.
One of the people he just
A's legend. Ricky
Right.
Henderson.
So I mean,
I have no idea who any of them are.
I know exactly how he is. I mean, everybody gravitates toward the Knicks and they gravitate toward the Rangers.
Yep.
Nobody watching the Islanders. Nobody's watching the Islanders. Nobody cares about the Islanders. Ain't nobody watching. Everybody's watching Lawrence Taylor and Phil Simms. Ain't nobody watching the Jets. No, nobody's watching Rich Kotite. That's not happening.
Exactly.
Absolutely not. So when Mark Sanchez gets on this Jets team and they go to the AFC Championship 2 years in a row, it's they on to something. No, they're not.
Exactly.
No, they're not.
Building momentum.
They're not on this. They're not on anything. They're garbage.
Connor,
No, they're not.
Connor, what's the reaction been like from Nets people where you mentioned they didn't have this person on YouTube? You saw a gap there where now you're doing the content and it's every day, and obviously people are tapping in. What's that reception been like? Because obviously there would have been a bunch of people sort of similar in your shoes, right? Who were looking for an outlet and things of that nature. So what's that been like for you?
Yeah, it's been really good. Nets fans are great. I mean, there are the jokes of 8 Net fans exist. Well, I've built up a platform larger than 8 Net fans, so I could say there are more than 8 Net fans in the world. But the fan base is great, and it's not the biggest fan base in the league. I don't think anyone's arguing that. The Knicks run New York City. I think it's fair to say. Come after me, all the Nets fans watching us in the chat, but it's true. I do, however, think there is something special about having a smaller, tight-knit fan base of you're never going to find in the big 3 maybe, but not anymore. You're not going to find a bandwagon Nets fan. You're going to find someone who's been rooting the team for 25 years, who knows every Net fan I know. The Nets fans I know are some of the most knowledgeable sports fans in general, just about they're a varied team, and I think there's something to be said about that. So the response has been great from fans, other reporters. It's been awesome. Really happy that it's taken off in the way it has.
Did you yourself? Did you play sports, or was this kind of like your anchor? You knew you wanted to get into the media side instead of maybe playing.
Yeah, no, I play. So I still play baseball in high school.
Sure.
I played basketball in middle school, golf. So I'm not the next
What
LeBron
hand do you play with? You play here, or here?
Baseball like this.
No,
typical.
your golf swing.
Yeah.
Your golf swing.
Yeah. Oh, golf swing.
Mm-hmm.
Hit it with like a little.
Okay. Yeah. So thumb in. Okay. Cool.
Yeah,
Connor, you an infielder?
No, I'm a catcher.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay.
No, I'm not an infielder.
That's
All
cool.
right, well, I mean, shout out to catchers,
technically.
Hey, best catcher in MLB.
Oh, best.
The big. Now I know he's going through some things right now, but the big
dumper. Like he's not hitting as effectively as he was last year, but I mean, you can't just completely forget that because he's down. And you're a Mariners fan. Okay.
Nah, I don't want the blue. Let's go with the khaki.
I don't think people understand, to be honest with you, Connor. I don't think people understand how bad our Mets are. Like they see it on paper that we bad. I don't think they really understand how bad we are. Like we got one guy in the top 25 in the league in hitting. He's 25, by the way. Like he's not like in the top 25. He's actually 25. We won't have anybody in the top 10 in the league in pitching. We won't have anybody in the top 10 in the league in hitting. Our defense is atrocious. We spent all this money on our infield, and we got one of the worst infields. It is very difficult to be a Mets fan. I promise you, because the Mets are, and I stand on this logic, the Mets are that family member that does the goofiest shit, but every once in a while they'll do something cool so you can't disown them, but then they'll go right back to doing some goofy shit. That's what the Mets are.
No, it's such a good analogy. And
that's what they are.
I think where all the frustration comes from this year is just the sky high expectations and having such a big payroll and the surprise. And the thing that's really frustrating for me is look at what happened last year. You fall short of the playoffs after a great 24 season, and they needed to add and not subtract. And Stearns, who's this total genius, made this magical plan up to spurn their best arm in the bullpen and the closer and the anchor of it all, and Edwin Diaz, to have Devin Williams come in, who was a dumpster fire with the Yankees, and that has only since carried over to the Mets. And just the changes at first base and going from your rock solid option and Pete Alonso and not wanting to pay him and signing Jorge Polanco.
He just walked out the front door. He just left.
Exactly.
Thank you for taking Jorge off our hands, too, by the way.
You just let our best power hitter just walk out the front door. Like, no, we don't need you no more. You good. Go ahead.
Yeah, exactly. And then Jorge Polanco's been injured, and when he's not injured, he's hitting 190. Robert has been injured since May. It's so frustrating because they had this payroll, and the whole offseason approach was just flawed in my eyes, right? Like they needed to add, and they decided to subtract and make it up in a weird way. Without Ewing and Benj, man, this year would be a total just you couldn't even watch. It would be that bad.
It's hard enough to watch these dudes now. We might lose 100 without Ben. We would lose 100 games this year, no question about
easily.
it.
And Ewing too, and they're actually playing well right now, and that's the frustrating part because it's they're playing well, but they do this every year. They lose 13 games in a row in April or May, and then they start getting on this hot streak, and it's well, you're still 11 games out of the wild card, so good luck trying to make it.
We're not close.
Yeah. Hey, Connor, sometimes you have a pretty decent yard, but sometimes you peek through that picket fence and the grass just looks a little greener on the other side. It's watered, it's fully green. They have parties and barbecues and all that good stuff over there. Have you ever just thought about maybe just jumping the fence and
No,
so that's never crossed your mind.
No, you get too invested, right? And I think part of, again, I don't know really what it's like to win, and that's unfortunate. My best experiences with the Mets is what we were just talking about. But no, because I think part of being a fan is it's so rewarding to go through the struggle and say you were there for that. And then when you win a championship, you could enjoy it. I've never understood why people bandwagon. It really just doesn't make sense to me because I think all that joy comes from being there. Sure, I can become
talk about being in the wrong room, man.
Are you listening to this?
I actually wasn't listening, funnily enough. But
no, that's wisdom right there. That's not just knowledge. That's wisdom. Because I will say this: there's a lot of bandwagon fans who joined the Knicks this year, the Raptors in 2019, And you know, just as soon as they came, they left.
Well, I mean, to be fair to O'Connor, I do think, you know, just even like fandom is just way different than what it used to be. You know, when you grew up, when like in the 90s and 2000s, or even chill, like obviously the 70s and 80s, like when you're around at that point in time, you don't have the same like ability to like watch. Like, you know, I grew up a Denver Nuggets fan. Everybody was a Jordan fan growing up, or a Bulls fan, because that's who was on television. Then the Lakers came around. And then, you know, you start to change things when you get like Carmelo and stuff. I think a lot of these organizations, the bandwagon stuff just came from like access to like what you're watching, because most time television was on NBC. You're watching like the Pacers or the Heat or the Bulls.
Yeah.
I think now you can watch games so freely. And so at this point, it's like, now there are a lot of player fans now that were attached to fans.
Sure.
Like LeBron fans that I know, they've been attached to LeBron since he was, 2003. And so they just follow LeBron around 25 years later, even though they're grown at this point in time. They still get flown out to city by city. They're 76ers fans now. They were Lakers fans. They're Cleveland fans. So I do think that now, being in this era where you could just league pass every game, you could watch NFL Sunday Ticket for all the Jets games. Like, now you know so much information about players and about the draft and about scouting. It's just way easier, I feel like, for people to invest in their local team. And I think that's just offers a place of stability. So I think you're like a product of the super highway access to information that we have now, even doing the stuff you're doing already. I mean, when I was me and Ron are the same age. So we're, 35, 36. When I was your age, I mean, Ron, I don't know, we watched basketball every night for the most part when we weren't at practice and stuff like that.
Yeah,
but
for sure. Basketball, football, baseball.
But we weren't like talking basketball, something crazy outside of like the lunchroom and all that kind of stuff. We just didn't. It just wasn't the same environment.
Opportunities.
Well, it was different. There wasn't social media too. It's like, it's just a whole different.
I mean, we had MySpace and Facebook, but we was, we weren't out here like debating like legacy
like
and all
what
that
it
kind of
is.
stuff.
I mean,
Like, literally, think about it, Pam. People get on my Twitter or your Twitter or Chill or what, or Chill's TikTok. These are like 12-year-olds, 13-year-olds arguing with us about like, did Steph Curry fail in the, the Blazers series when he missed 6 straight shots in, game 4 or whatever else. Like, that was never a part of our lexicon. Like, we never brought that up. All we knew Mike was great and he had 6 rings, and like we talked through like best players, all that stuff. Even Chill, I don't know how Chill talked about basketball in the 90s, because Chill was also playing. And then Chill also wasn't watching every single game like that because he couldn't watch it either. And he was working. So like everything is just different now.
I don't want to, I mean, I don't think this is what you're doing, but I don't want to boil down what Connor's doing just as a, he has more access than we did type of situation. Because people our age did have access to things. You had access to blogs. You could have started your own blog. I also want to say, there's this notion that today's generation of kids just don't want to struggle. But I think it's honestly the young adults who don't want to struggle. When I have friends who have 10-year-olds, 12-year-olds, 13-year-olds, like 15-year-olds, 16-year-olds, like for the most part, they're pretty damn smart. They're a lot smarter than, I was expecting them to be, and a lot smarter than kids were coming up. So I think the cool thing about what Connor's done is he's chosen to cover a team. He found an opportunity, right? He created first of all, he found an opportunity, which is a market inefficiency, is, hey, there's a bunch of Net fans. People don't think they're Nets fans, but I think there are more Nets fans, and I think I can create a community around it, number one. So immediately creating a market where there wasn't one. And number two, choosing not to be a hoe is a great, career strategy, because, you flip-flop all over the place.
Connor, don't ever adopt that language, please. Just, ever.
I'm sure he
I appreciate the kind words.
Connor,
Thank you.
as a Northeast guy, Connor, really quickly, is there a line in the sand when we're talking about like teams? Because Swiper just brought up the access that we have. Is there a line in the sand when you're talking about teams? For example, the Jets. If I'm a Jets fan, I'm not a Giants fan. If I'm a Mets fan, I'm not a Yankees fan. Like,
yeah, definitely. And like, you gave a great example talking about like players, and I understand that. Like, I respect that. Like, I know people who are crazy Kyrie fans too. Like, not even LeBron, but like Kyrie and guys like that. And you want to follow a player, I understand that. But like, yeah, teams like, it drives me crazy when people are like, well, the Jets are out, but the Giants are in the playoffs, so I'm rooting for the Giants. Like, okay, you're a casual New York fan. You're not like an actual Giants fan. People could root for who they want. Like, I don't care. But to call yourself like a fan of multiple teams within the same city, you're not. You're just a casual rooting for the city. Just say, people ask, what team do you root for? Oh, the Jets and the Giants. Just say you're a New York fan. Just Mets and Yankees. Just say you're a New York fan. Like, that's okay. I feel like people view casual fandom as a bad thing when it's really not. Like, we're all diehards, but I mean, I respect casuals if they just acknowledge they're casuals. I don't like when casuals try to act like they're diehards, but there's nothing wrong with just kind of following that mold of being, I'm just rooting for the city I'm living in. I'm rooting for the
Are you
city
talking
I'm
about
from.
mostly like when you talk to people in sports? Are you talking to more people your age, or do you talk to like, I guess what's your market that you're dealing with mostly in your experience, Connor?
Like my content, like who my content goes out to.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the analytics show me right now it's like in the range of the 20 to like 50-year-old market.
Sure.
Mostly, like that's where a lot of my percentages lies. So yeah, like my highest market rate right now, 29.9%, is 45 to 54 years old.
Oh,
and
really?
then
Right.
behind
That's
that,
fire.
Well, but then to Penn's point though, which is when Penn makes these kind of points, is when he's at his best. Obviously, when you're talking about the market and efficiency, like Jets and Nets, there's just not a lot of representation. So for you so early to do that, by the time you're, 10 years from now, I mean, who knows where you'll be, with all that other stuff, because like obviously that's a huge market. But I also feel like it's difficult, Chill. You're from Jersey, Chill.
Sir.
If I was from Jersey or New York, I ain't got to pick any one of these teams. I can pick them all. I mean, they ain't nothing but right down the street.
Well, that's what he was just saying, and that's why you're a casual. That's exactly what he was just saying.
I'm from Denver though. Like I don't mind. We only have one team. Like think about it. If you're from New York, the Jets and Nets, like they're right. They're right there.
But that's what Chill was saying though. Like you have to draw a line in the sand.
yeah,
You don't have to,
like,
but
people-
typically that's how it goes.
People love New York though, Chill. Like, is that a thing where people are just fans from the city and like try and follow every team as much as possible? Like, is that a thing or?
Well, if to Connor's point, if you're a New Yorker, if the Mets are in the World Series, you're rooting for the Mets. But if you're a Mets fan, if the Yankees are in the World Series, you want to see them lose. You do not want to see them win. You want to see them lose because you're a Mets fan. And contrary to popular belief, Swiper, there is a huge sector of Jets fans. They just got their heads underneath the sand because the Jets suck. I promise you, when the Jets rolling, they will come out of the woodwork and they will be everywhere. But because the Jets aren't
Are there
very
more
good,
Jets or Giants, do you think?
you'd be surprised how many Jet fans.
I think there are more Jet fans, to be honest.
be
At least
Think there are more
surprised.
Jet fans than Giants
You'd
fans?
be
I think
surprised
so.
how many
Wow.
Jets fans there.
Yeah,
Well, first of all, I'm sorry, Connor, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, like, even the Jets YouTube community, there's a content creator who's really helped me out. His name's Jake Asman. Like, he started covering the team 5-6 years ago. So 2020, when they won 2 games that year, whatever it was, and he's built his platform up to like 65,000 subs. I think he just hit, and he's covering a team that hasn't won more than 7 games. They haven't made the playoffs. There, you know, 600 people watching his show live in August talking about a preseason game. It's like, I think that kind of similar to the Nets, although I mean, football is just naturally a bigger sport than the
Way
NBA
bigger.
is.
It's crazy.
Yeah, fandom wise, same. I thought the NBA is a powerhouse still, but like even just going into this, you realize how much of a money making machine the NFL is, and like how they've just conquered everything. But yeah, it's like there are a lot of Jets fans out there, and similar to the Nets, it's
and the Jets are more attached to New York than the Giants are. The Giants play, even though the Jets play in Jersey. But the Giants, not only do they play in Jersey, but they practice in Jersey too. The Jets actually practice in New York. So
they practice in Jersey now.
Oh, they moved from Hofstra? Because that's what they used to do.
Yeah, they moved in, I think, 2008 it was, or a little after that.
Wow, it's been almost 20 years. I did not know that. I thought
they practice like an hour away from MetLife. They have their own headquarters.
I did not know. I thought they still practiced in New York. So, but it's
but they have more of a connection, right? Like they played at Shea, they practiced at Hofstra forever. So there's like more of that connection, the Long Island, New York.
The Giants for a lot of years they've been in Jersey. I mean, I've never considered the Giants like the New York Giants. I mean, MetLife Stadium is in Jersey.
Yeah, exactly. Definitely.
Yo, but Connor, I have one more question before I ask you my next question that I really want to ask you.
Awesome.
Great setup.
No, not awesome. Aren't you supposed to be in school right now?
But no, he's not. Ron, and the reason why he's not. So
I don't know.
School started already.
California just started school, so I don't know when
Ron has to take people to school every day. School has 100% started here in Atlanta.
In the Northeast, we don't start school till after Labor Day.
Yep.
That's when school starts.
Good call out.
Same in Seattle too. We don't start school till later, but I didn't know.
Okay,
I
well,
figured.
Connor, be real with me. Be real. So, are you allowed to take your phone into the class with you, or do they confiscate those from you?
So actually, it's funny. Last year we were as long as you're just not on it in class, and you could around school.
Yeah.
But this year, I think they put a rule in you can't.
So you're not gonna have any updates about what's happening during the day, like there's a major trade.
No, I will. I'll have my computer. So
something just changed yesterday with Meta's lawsuit, and they settled. They have to change, so you're not going to get notifications if you're under 18 during class.
Oh yeah,
anyway.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah,
I get my news through Twitter. It's all right. I don't think Elon put that in.
Yeah, Elon not letting y'all go. Okay.
Wait, so
yeah.
then how? I guess so. Like when you're in school, like are you already at the point now where you're like, chill, like I don't want to be in this geometry class right now, right? Like I'm like ready to. Are you already at the point now where you're like your mind is like more focused on, like this is your passion, like you're more focused on media and sports, and then like you're just trying to get through school so you can eventually take that next step that you want to do this in your career? Is that kind of where you are now?
Yeah, no, exactly. And I think it's important, right? Like middle school, I was much more zoned out because it's like that's kind of just the way I operate. Like I knew middle school didn't matter grade wise, so it's like why do I need to put the time into it? But then first year of high school, I'm like, okay, I know this is important. So do I want to do it? Absolutely not. Do I know 99% of it I'm never going to use the second I leave that school at the end of the year? Absolutely. But at the same time, it is important. I think there is something to be said about being educated and things like that. So that's why it's important to me, and I try to get through, and I make sure my work is done thoroughly. But at the end of the day, I know that even what you guys have done, just like building your own platform, that's the future of media nowadays. So I know that's the focus, and that's gonna take me much further than the Pythagorean theorem will.
Well, what is your favorite subject material right now, though? Like that you're doing?
Probably history. I like history.
Got another history.
There's fact behind it. I like it, and you could you learn a lot, and it kind of all ties back to the same.
Actually, was good in geometry.
Same
I sucked in algebra.
I can't do math. I'm awful.
I know it's a common thing for people to say you're not going to use what you learn in school, but I promise you, as someone who tutored a lot of people in your age group, all the way up to like 25, early college, this part of your life is not about like Pythagorean theorem or particular formulas. It's about developing your brain. So pushing your brain to that level, however you do it, honestly, whether that be intellectually stimulating conversations, chess tournaments, basketball, learning plays, memorizing things, or actually focusing on algebra, is all going to help. Because at this point, like, I think most of us wish we'd figured out that we wanted to do this when we were 15, but we didn't, right? So most of us picked it up later. You have this head start. Now the only thing that can supercharge that is like keeping your mind clear,
Yeah, exactly. My whole thing
developing.
Is like, no, definitely. And school's important. Like, there's no doubt about it. I think the thing that frustrates a lot of people is like, hey, how about, things are taught that are more so applicable in a day-to-day life. Like what I keep coming back to is like financial management. Like there are people who get out of college and they're like very, very smart and they make money through coding or whatever and have like their own programs set up. But then they get all this money. They were never taught how to manage it. They don't know how to, just manage their assets. And I think that's something that could be just integrated into the system and so helpful.
You're a 15-year-old talking about assets. You're ahead of 98% of people your age.
Chill, changing the subject to the Nets and Mikel Brown.
Well, since we're on the subject of managing,
yeah, let's talk about Mikel Brown.
Since we're on the subject of managing, right? So we got a bunch of cast-offs in Brooklyn. In addition to having a bunch of cast-offs, I also think that we do have a foundational piece, maybe two foundational pieces. How does Jordi Fernández manage this group? Like, what's going to be the staple of this group?
I've said it. This is a make or break year for, I don't want to say make or break, but this is a prove it year for Jordi Fernández at the very least, because this is someone entering his third season with the organization. He had 2 years. He overperformed with very, very bad rosters. No doubt about it. And like, you just see his basketball mind and you hear what the players have to say about him. There's reason for promise. But at the same time, I can't fully sign off and say going into this year that Jordi Fernández is this great franchise-changing coach. Do I think the Nets have their head coach of the future in Jordi? Yes. Can I confidently say that with a bulletproof argument? No, because at the same time, he's lost 118 games these past 2 years. And I understand the goal was to lose and the goal was to tank, and they didn't have a roster to compete and contend. And I think there's going to be a lot that changes this year. I think Jordy's going to be trying to win. This is the best roster easily that he's had his 3 years in the job. His assistants have now been working with him for 2 whole seasons. There's just going to be a lot more of cohesion overall from the coaching staff to the roster in every area. However, I can't fully confidently say that he is going to be this franchise-altering, game-changing head coach when we just haven't seen yet. That's why this is a prove-it year for Jordy.
But what is the measure of success here?
The measure of success in my eyes is, can you win 5 to 10 more games than you did last year? Can you be competitive? Can you be like, remember the start of his first year where they were 9-10 to begin the season with not a good roster and Dennis Schroeder and Cam Johnson and Mikel Bridges, and they were pushing.
Do you remember offhand where you guys were defensively last year?
To begin the season or to end the season?
To end the season.
To end the season, they were like a top, I want to say around like league average in that area. I don't know about like the final month of the year, but at their best, they were a top like a top 10 or so defense in basketball. Whereas at their bottom, like they started the year one of the worst defensive teams we've seen in like recent seasons. Like they were really bad. They were allowing 135 points to the Hornets and teams like that night in and night out. I don't really worry about the defense that much just because Jordy's a chess player. Like he's a dominant head coach on that side of the ball. And the thing that's so like when I just look at this roster and not to get too off track and away from the question, but you could kind of break it down in 2 different ways. The personnel that Jordy's dealing with, Mikel Brown Jr. and Yegor. You have 2 guys there I think are going to average 15 and 5 this season, 15 points, 5 assists. And you have another 2.
That's pretty good, actually.
And MPJ and Julius Randle, who are going to average anywhere each from 20 to 24 points per game and 6 to 8 rebounds. So you have 2 guys who are probably going to average 15 and 5, and another 2 who are probably going to be averaging, we'll split the difference and say 22 and 7. That's pretty damn good scoring output for a team that couldn't score last year. The biggest question comes at center. I just think they lack that rim running, rim protecting presence that you need to win down low and win in the modern game. I really like Day'Ron Sharpe. I just think he's more of a high-end backup and a low-end starter. We'll see if he could take that leap this year. Yep. Mo Wagner, he's been injured these past few years. I like his offensive game. I have my questions defensively. I really think all they're missing right now is that game-changing center. Like Julius Randle isn't going to be here for 5 years. Probably the same with Michael Porter Jr. The thing is, I think the Nets have their backcourt and they have 2 veterans in the starting lineup with MPJ and Julius who are going to be able to score the rock.
Penn, what are you talking about with the defense? Like, are we talking about the last month of the season? Or are we talking about the last 10 games of it? What are you talking about, Penn?
I think very important, in everything you do in life, whether that be making films, making podcasts, starting a new platform, or coaching a basketball team, you need to have appropriate benchmarks, which means I need to know the right question to ask before I can determine whether or not a coach is doing their job. So I'm curious if it's winning games, which, I mean, again, is tangentially related to being a good coach, but is not everything about being a good coach, right? If I give you a situation, let's say the Nets, according to Swiper's odds, 24.5, right? Swiper read out the odds earlier. The Vegas over under on the Nets is 24.5. And, Connor's saying 27 could be, as high as they go. Let's say they don't get to 27, maybe they get to 25. But we see incredible growth from Yegor Diaman. More on-ball reps. He continues the downhill attack. He gets a little bit better defensively. We see promising progress from season start to season end with Mikel Brown. We see accountability across the roster. The team shows up every night. They're in most games, even against really good teams. They're in it in the fourth quarter, but then they can't close it out because Jalen Brunson is a better closer than Michael Porter. Isn't that a good season?
Yes.
Even still, like, let's say we move to 12th in defense somehow. I don't know, 14th in defense because, we got this big, long, active group of guys who play together all the time. And we're 22nd in offense.
League, though, to go from the bottom of the league to, like, we literally had this conversation yesterday.
There's a difference between getting blown out every night and not being in games versus we're in a 2-point nail biter in the fourth quarter with 3 minutes to go and we just lose it at the end. Again, I've always said this. You got to learn how to practice. You got to learn how to play. Then you got to learn how to win. And winning comes last, right? Once you learn how to win, now you need to learn how to win in the playoffs. You got to read the whole process again in the playoffs.
Like, I understand Jordi Fernández is your guy.
He is my guy.
But I don't think this would determine whether he's a bad coach or a good coach. but there's a good chance that he's gone next year or the year after that.
I disagree. I
do too,
completely
Ron.
disagree.
I do.
No.
It looks.
Sean-
It seems
Sean
like
Marks-
they believe
Sean
in
Marks
him.
loves
Yeah,
him.
it seems like they believe in him.
Sean loves him.
It's
And they also know they're not meant to be winning. Why
I'll
would they
put it- I'll
fire
put it
them?
this
Yeah,
way.
Ron, why
because-
do we do
They're
that
not
though,
meant to be
Ron?
winning.
I'm glad you brought that up, Ron, because why? Like when a front office puts a competent roster around a good coach and he's winning, as opposed to a front office putting an incompetent roster around a good coach, we want to run him out. Like we saw what happened with Charles Lee, who is a damn good coach in Charlotte. All of a sudden, I got my guys healthy. I got a competent roster around him. Oh shit, Charles Lee is a good coach. He's always been a good coach. Isn't that the same logic we could use with Jordi Fernández, Ron?
I'll tell you something that I heard from a Nets insider who works very closely with the front office. He is one of the top 10 coaches in the NBA for them. That's who they think he is. They think this guy is going to usher in the next era of good winning basketball. And frankly, by the way, with the job that they asked him to do, there weren't a lot of experienced head coaches who were willing to sign up to lose and tarnish their record for 3 straight years. I don't know if you know this, but coaches are damn competitive. Tom Thibodeau is not signing up to lose 60 games a year because that looks bad on his resume. So you're going to have a young coach. But I'll tell you this, Jordi Fernández has been a good coach since he was 17 years old. Okay, this guy is like, it takes one to know one.
I know you know Jordy's whole life story and all of that. And once again, I know you love him, Penn. I know you do. Once again, I'm not saying he's a bad coach. I'm not even saying it's going to be deserving. And Sean Marks might like him, and I might be off with this. I'm more so judging it based on the history of the NBA, where a coach's shelf life is 2 to 3 years, and especially if you're losing. Do you know who a guy that coached the Detroit Pistons a couple years ago?
Oh, dear God.
He signed a very big. Yeah, I'm saying just because you get extended doesn't mean.
Yeah, but the situation is entirely different.
Once again, though, guys,
the worst team in history.
Don't jump me. I'm not saying that he's going to be fired, and I'm not saying he should be fired. I'm just saying, based on the history of the NBA, when you lose for consecutive seasons, you typically get canned. And it might be Sean Marks might like
to win.
No, we've seen plenty bad teams fire their coaches.
Because they weren't planning to be as bad as they were.
Once again, though, we see coaches, plenty coaches get fired all the time. And but here's my thing, though. All I'm saying is, at times somebody has to be a scapegoat. He might end up being a scapegoat. And I'm not saying it's going to be this year. It might be in 2 years. But I'm just saying it's not an optimal situation for him for them to continue down a path with Jordi, and they continue to go lottery after lottery after lottery.
I agree.
Whether he's a good coach or not.
When the time comes for them to try and be competitive, if they are still a terrible team, that's when I think the Jordi Fernández questions may happen. Maybe.
Not now, though.
Not when everyone knows they suck. They were meant to suck. Jordi Fernández is now coaching them during the time when he got hired. Everyone knew they were going to suck. They're not going to fire him for losing when they were.
So you're saying similar to the Chicago Bulls situation?
They drafted 5 rookies last year, all outside the top 7, and asked him to play all of them.
They played the most combined minutes in the NBA last year.
Exactly. So
they played 8 different rookies last year.
Yeah, they know what they were doing. Like,
did you say 8, Con? I want to make sure I'm following Con.
Fire him for losing on a team that was meant to lose.
8
different rookies.
If you think about the season last year, the 30 teams in the league, who played more rooks than Brooklyn did?
Nobody. It wasn't even close.
And
like, they had the 5
games.
guys, and they had Malachi Smith, who was on a 10-day contract. They had Chaney Johnson, who was on a 2-way, and Grant Nelson got a 10-day, who went to Alabama.
Shout out Grant Nelson.
Yeah, so like the way I have started looking at it, and I know I said it's a prove it year because it is for Jordi to a degree. Like, this is the first time we're going to see him with a competent roster, and most importantly, his goal is to win basketball games, not lose them. You got to treat this like year 1 for Jordi. The prior 2 years, and Penn, I think it was you, did a great job of laying out that Tom Thibodeau doesn't want to lose. Like, these guys do not want blemishes that include 60 losses, 65 losses on their resume. The Nets really like Jordi. It goes beyond Sean Marks. It goes to the higher levels of this team and this organization. They really like him. Now, if we're talking entering the 28-29 season and the Nets have won 30 games these past 2 years, sure, then maybe we revisit these conversations. But I think if you want to talk about someone, moving on, or the Nets moving on from someone in the organization after this year, I think it's Sean Marks. The guy's been here for a decade. He's cycled through head coach after head coach. There has been, minimal playoff success, 2 playoff series wins, whatever it's been under him. It's just been ridiculous. And it's time for the Nets to find a new direction in my eyes. I think he should have been canned before the draft, where they let him make all 5 picks. I have my questions with him. The whole offseason, man, it's like Duren's still sitting there with Detroit, and as each day goes by, there haven't been very many encouraging updates that signal he's going to be back with Detroit. They seem to be very far apart. Like I mentioned it earlier on, the Nets, they lack that center. Like,
would you sign and trade? Would you sign and trade Michael Porter Jr. in a heartbeat to get Duren?
Yes, and I want to be clear, I want MPJ to stick around on this team. I think that makes the most sense. But if it includes going after and getting Jalen Duren, absolutely, I would.
Would you parse out picks and Julius Randle, like 3 picks, like 3 firsts, like weak firsts?
Could Randle even get traded?
Basically,
if Detroit went for that,
can Randle get traded?
If
right
Detroit
now?
went for
I don't
that,
know. I don't know the rules.
I don't think he can.
But I don't think they want Randle,
I would
right?
hope Detroit.
Like they want
wouldn't do
MPJ.
that. Yeah, I would hope they wouldn't do that.
That's what I was thinking, Miles. If Detroit went for that, hell yeah, I'm doing it.
Well, that's why you're
Yeah.
adding 3 first-round picks.
Oh,
Yeah, but
the
Detroit's
Knicks
trying to
picks?
win. They're not worried about Knicks picks. Like they want players, not picks.
Yeah, I don't.
And I get you can say, oh, they can flip the picks for more players, but at the end of the day, it's Knicks picks, and you're losing your starting center, who, despite the playoffs, is one of the better bigs in the NBA.
Oh,
And you're losing
easily.
him for Knicks picks,
And he's
you're-
22 years old.
And
too.
you've already
22.
remembered the Pistons have already lost Isaiah Stewart as well. So like, their front court depth is
Cooked.
interesting.
Yeah.
It would end up being a 3-team trade where they would probably get a big back from somebody else. Julius Randle would get shipped off somewhere else.
I think
And
it'd be
then-
MPJ if it happens.
Yeah.
Like I
They
don't
need
think
shooting.
and I really like MPJ, and he's so valuable, and like the guy's I think at this point has gotten to the point where he's an underappreciated player in the league. Like he's succeeded with a championship team when he was the 4th option, and he succeeded when he was the number 1 option with nobody's around him last year. He's a leader. He took on that role with the 5 rookies last year, and just what he's done with them throughout the offseason has been incredible. MPJ is a piece. Now, is he a 1 or a 2 on a championship team? Probably not. Is he a 3 or 4? Absolutely. Like he's a legitimate asset for a contending team. And, it becomes the question, okay, well, if you trade MPJ, who's the Nets starting forward? I don't care. I'll figure that out. I'm taking the 22-year-old in Duren because he is at such a strong point already in his career where he's developing an offensive game, where he's one of the best defenders among bigs, of course, in basketball. He's just so strong and physically imposing. For me, I take the talent and I figure out the rest. If you look at the young group right now, Yegor, Mikel, these guys are 19, 20 years old. Now insert the 22-year-old, and that 3 can run with each other. Like, I don't want to say championship, but that's like a trio that I could see contending and being a legitimate team with the 2 other pieces in the starting lineup long term. Like, I just think you get the young talent in the door and then figure it out after that, because the Nets lack the center. I know that, but Duren would be a total game changer.
Is there really?
I agree, by the way,
that
Connor.
Michael Porter Jr. could be the second option on, and they're like close to contending? Because I'm looking at a team like Miami. He would be the second option on that team. He'd be the second leading scorer.
Over Mr. 83?
Yeah, over him.
He would be the second offensive player, second
he would be-
offensive
he
option,
wouldn't
but he
be
would
the
be the
best
third
player.
best player. Yeah.
Right. He would be the second
So-
option.
It depends on what
Yeah.
teams value in
He'd
my
be
eyes.
glorified Klay Thompson.
No, he wouldn't.
No,
He
Disrespectful.
would. That's how
He's-
they would use him.
he's
No,
far
it's-
more
They would use
efficient.
him like a
He's bigger.
glorified
He's a better
Klay Thompson.
defender. He does more off the ball.
Listen to him tell it. If he didn't get hurt, he would have been the GOAT.
You just,
So-
you just described a glorified Klay Thompson. I don't know what to tell you.
But what you just
MPJ
said,
is-
Connor,
dude,
MPJ's
that's
younger
what
than
he's a
Clay
glorified
too.
sure,
way
that-
younger.
You're just
that-
explaining
that's what-
all the ways in which he's a glorified Klay. You're just saying why he's a better Klay Thompson.
and he's also
Glorified Klay
6'10".
Another.
There you go.
That's not
He's bigger.
glorified
Glorified
Klay.
Klay Thompson.
They play
He's-
completely different.
He's
Okay.
bigger. He's younger. He's more useful off the ball. Yeah, he's a glorified
He's
Klay.
not.
He's the
same.
Klay Thompson.
That's a good thing,
Up a
though.
little bit.
But isn't that
Like
I'll-
playing
There's
playing
nothing
next to
wrong
Giannis,
with it.
that's
That's
a
just
good thing. Like
why
that's not it's not necessarily a diss.
Exactly. Klay
like-
is one of the best players ever in his role. A glorified Klay Thompson is not a negative. You're just explaining why he's a glorified Klay Thompson.
I have an interesting question for Connor. If you had to rank your top 5 trade assets, simply outbound trade assets, you can include players who cannot currently be traded, like players who just signed extensions or rookies, etc. but like, what are your top 5 assets? Because I'm positive, like 100%, y'all are going to make a trade this season. I don't know what it's going to be, how big it's going to be, but y'all are making a trade this season. So, who are those top 5 assets on your team?
Yeah, I think the top 5 assets for Brooklyn, MPJ 1, no doubt about it. He is legitimate value. He's going to go somewhere. But here's the thing, touch on MPJ briefly is, if I were Sean Marks, I wouldn't trade him just to trade him. I think you have to trade him and get something back in return. Like I were hearing reports, the Nets, his value is
more valuable than Yegor as an
Um,
asset. You think he would command more first-round picks?
I don't think they're going to trade Yegor.
Well,
So I mean, I guess
I'm
you could-
saying
okay.
assets, regardless
Okay.
of whether you want to trade
Okay.
him or not. Like,
So
what are
MP,
the
it would
top
be
5?
okay. Yegor will be 1 because he shot nearly 40% from 3. He was the second fastest rookie to 100 threes. He's 6'10". He's a defender. He'd be 1. MPJ would be 2. I think Daron Sharp would be 3. And then 4 is when you could oh no, Julius would be 3. Daron would be 4. That's how I would view it.
I think Mikel Brown Jr. has more trade value than Julius Randle, personally. No?
Okay, if you just want to rank the 5 best players, like I'm trying to think of guys they could legitimately trade. Like Yegor, I could see an Apollo deal. They're not going to trade MBJ his rookie year. Like that's just not going to. Like if we take out the rookies this year, like I'm not factoring him in.
Okay.
So I'd put Randall and then Sharp.
Mikel's earned a nickname already.
MBJ, yeah.
MBJ.
That's not a nickname.
MBJ.
That's an
It's
abbreviation.
MPJ, MBJ.
Yeah, it's just Mike. You saying Michael Brown every time. MBJ.
I mean, I'm gonna say Mikel. I'm never say MBJ, but that's just because I didn't know that was a thing. They already got MPJ, but that makes sense. That makes sense. You know.
And then 5, you could go. I mean, it's like for me, it depends what Josh Minot does this year. Like if Josh Minot is a starting caliber player, it'll be Minot. You know, maybe Keon. I go Keon Ellis or Mo Wagner. I'll say Keon Ellis. I like Keon Ellis. He's a 40% career 3-point shooter, one of the best point of attack defenders in the game. Yeah, so that would be Yegor, MPJ, Randall, Sharp, and then Keon Ellis. Those are the top 5 assets.
Keon Ellis, a top 5 asset on your team. That's
I don't understand the Keon Ellis hate. Like he's not a top 5 player on the Nets, but like the guy is one of the best point of attack defenders in the league. He's a 40% 3-point shooter. He played under Jordi Fernández. It was malpractice that he wasn't playing in the playoffs. He's a veteran with experience. Like I don't understand how that's like a bad second guy.
I
off
watched
the
him
bench.
play in the playoffs. He sucked.
yeah.
I generally am a fan.
I
though.
agree. He
I like him.
40% from 3. I agree with that.
They're wide
Everything
open
else,
for the
I
most
mean,
part.
Yeah, that's the only part I agree with. I mean, veteran. I mean, he was in year 3 last year. I don't even know if veteran.
He's 27. He's 27, and he is the
He was in
definition
year
of
3
shows
last year,
up
but
early in practice.
veteran is cool. Shout out to him. POA, I don't even agree with, but he shoots 40% from 3. That part is accurate. So
He was a
Man.
great defender last year, and he has been throughout his career. He's for someone his
yeah,
size.
we don't agree, and that's fine.
Honestly,
we can
like,
agree to disagree.
coming out
Coder,
here and saying I support
I
the
see
Nets.
eye to eye with you with Keon. I think he receives unnecessary hate for no reason. I think he's.
Same.
a
I don't
pretty
think
solid
Keon
player.
gets hate. I don't think anyone talks about Keon Ellis other than when he was on the Kings.
We're
and
talking about him
everyone
right
was like,
now.
Keon Ellis.
That's Mars'
This
fault.
is
And we
not
talk-
hate to
and
say
we-
he's not a
And we,
POA
and we talked about him in the
defender.
playoffs.
Keon Ellis is 6'3", 122. He can't guard anyone. What he does is he runs
That's
around and
not
gets steals.
true.
He gets
That's
steals. That's
not
what he does.
true.
That's
He
valuable.
gets steals.
That's
I'm
But
not
that's
saying
the-
it isn't. That's not point of attack defense. Keon
But
Ellis
he's-
can't guard his position in the NBA, and he can't guard any other position in the NBA.
It's just not.
He's not a point of attack defender.
Yeah,
He is a havoc wreaker. I don't know if that's a word, wreaker. That's what he is. He's a havoc defender. He runs around, he blows things up. Every pass around him is dangerous because he's gonna try and reach for everything. That's what he does.
He is a
Man,
good
what is a
defender.
Point of
Ben, what
attack
is
defender.
what is a point of attack defender to you? Like when you think about a point of attack defender, give me an example of a point of attack defender.
Davion Mitchell.
Is
I
Keon
agree,
Ellis
yes.
is Keon Ellis in that mode of a point of attack defender? Does he do that?
No, but he's a really good defender. I don't know
That's
why
not-
Mars is
that's
being
not
ridiculously.
Really
I'm
good
asking
is just
you.
not accurate.
That's
Really
not
He
what
good
I'm
is a
not
really
accurate. I
good
don't
defender.
agree.
I don't know what analytic or what eye test you're using to measure.
When you say he's a really
not
good
defender,
he's
what
a
is he
really
good
good
at?
defender.
The
As a-
6'4" guard who is outweighed physically in every matchup he goes against is not able to guard any other position other than his own, and he's not even great at guarding his own position. That's my metric for point of attack defender. If you're not great guarding your own position, and you definitely can't guard any other position because you're too lightweight, that's the reason why the Cavs didn't play him in the playoffs, alongside the fact that he can't do anything other than shoot a 3 on offense. It's the fact that he actually can't be out there most of the time because he's too physically inferior to match up with most point guards in the East. He can't match up with a Cade Cunningham. He can't match up with a Jalen Brunson. He's too physically inferior, and you can't put him anywhere else because he's 125.
And then on top of that, he can't be open
that's
shots.
not a
Why are you
POA
on the
to
floor?
me.
Why are you on the floor, Penn? So
Well, that's why he wasn't on
the
the floor. That's
in
why
addition to
This is
that's
unnecessary.
Connor, what are your opinions
There's
about
a reason
this?
Keon Ellis is on a
Keon
minimum
Ellis.
contract. I'm not.
He's
hating
not on a
He-
minimum
he's-
contract.
He's making $8 million.
Yeah, he
He's
was,
not on
and then he got what 9 with the Nets. They gave him 9 million or something.
Well,
There
we're
was
not
a
going to
reason
justify
why.
a player
There was a
being on
reason why the
low
Cavs barely have to give
contract.
up anything to get him. There's a reason why he didn't have the same
Davon Sharp was
desire.
making $6 million
that
last
everyone
year.
has.
That's not an
Davon
indictment
Sharp
of the
is a
player.
good player. Cool. My point is, there's a reason why everyone wasn't picking up the phone to call Keon Ellis in Sacramento. There's a reason why he wasn't
Well, he
getting minutes in
signed
the
day
playoffs
2
with
of
the
free
Cavs.
agency. I mean, he was. He
I'm
didn't
saying when he was in
stick around
Sacramento, there's a reason why everyone wasn't calling the Sacramento Kings asking for Keon Ellis, despite the fact that he was on a minimum contract. There's a reason why the Cavs didn't have to give up a whole lot for him. There's a reason why he barely played in the playoffs for the Cavs. It's because he's not that good, and that's fine.
Sure,
he's
but
a
he
end of the bench piece, and that's cool. But I
Not in
don't agree
Brooklyn.
with
He's gonna be
POA,
like the
and I
first-
definitely don't agree with a top 5 asset on the team. I personally think you're underselling some of the people on your team if Keon Ellis is a top 5 asset on it.
Who am I underselling?
I actually don't know,
agree
but I
with
feel
that,
like you have to be underselling.
No,
someone. I'll look at the roster, but you have to be underselling someone if
Okay.
Keon Ellis is a top 5 asset on the team. Like you have to be.
A
Like, there's-
trade chip?
There's no way.
Hang on. I think
I like Keon. I think Keon's a nice
There's
little player.
there's genuinely no way he's a top 5 asset on your team. Like it can't be possible.
I'm not
The
talking
reason
about
why now what say right there.
I know
Connor.
you said
The
not
reason-
top 5 player. I'm saying trade asset.
The reason why
MPJ, Daron Sharp,
Yes,
Yeager, those 4 are
the reason
undeniable.
why yes.
Mo Wagner has to have more value than him. Josh Minor has to have more value than him.
Mm,
And Noah
no.
Clowney has to have more value
The
than
reason
him.
why
There's no way
Noah
Keon Ellis are
Clowney,
more valuable
yikes.
than them.
the reason
And
why
Noah
he has
Clowney's
more
not good. I'm not even
Mars,
arguing
the
he's
reason why
good.
he has more
But at
Mars
least he's
Traore
6'10"
might have
big who
value.
has a high 3-point rate. Like, cool.
Mars, the reason
Keon
why he
Ellis
has
genuinely
more
can't play in the
The
playoffs.
reason, why he has more value is because of that contract. He's on a deal for $9 million. That's a little bit of money. That's a throw-in. That's
but
somebody
it's a
who's
mutual, but it's a
And I know
mutual
Clowney's making
option
5,
on the
but Mo
next year. That's
Wagner's
basically an
making 9.
expiring contract.
And Mo
Yeah.
Wagner's making 9 and is better than Keon Ellis.
But he's always injured.
He's coming off an injury. The defense is
Sure.
limited. Like I don't think he's a big that.
Defense is limited.
These players.
Connor, what were you? What were you?
to be
Connor,
traded.
what were you saying? Connor, what point were you trying to make?
No, I was just saying, like, I don't think Mo Wagner is a big who particularly helps teams in the playoffs. Like, I think he's a very much off. I think he actually fits with the Nets. Like, they need points off the bench. Like, Wagner is going to take on an offensive role coming off the bench. And yeah, that's a good point you made about the contracts too. Mo's deal is the same. It's a mutual option for year 2, so both sides have to opt in. So it's both of those could be viewed as expiring contracts. I also said Josh Minott could very well be in that conversation if he's able to get to a point where he's shooting like 38% from 3 and giving you 10 points, 11 points off the bench a night. Like I think that's in a really good spot and a solid range for him to become valuable. He's still only 23 years old. Like let's keep that in mind. And Penn, you brought up a good point with Nolan Traore there. Traore was the 6th youngest player in the NBA last year. He flashed upside down the stretch as a playmaker, score. I think a lot of it's for him just finishing around the basket. Noah Clowney, I know, is a name that's been discussed. I guess because it's the final year of his contract, but then he's extension eligible next. He was extension eligible this offseason. He is a free agent, a restricted free agent next offseason. And just for him, like I'm looking at his stats right now. They're not great. Like 32.9% from 3 this year, 33.3 the year prior. And like played 66 games this year, 46 the year prior, 23 his rookie campaign. So just injuries, getting sent down to the G League his first 2 years. I don't think he's just that value of a piece. His assist to turnover ratio is near even. I guess you could just argue that like he needs a fresh start and he's still 22. So you could just grab onto that hope, the age. So I think I see him off the team next year. I don't know if he's traded or gone in free agency. If you like actually, the Noah Clowney idea sounds great in theory and he has upside here and there. But watching him every night these past 3 seasons, like I don't think he's that good of a player.
Yo, to bring it back to Keon, I actually do. Actually expect. I was gonna say I see a world where Keon gets busy this year and busy to his standards, not busy as all-star and all of that. But I don't even want to say I see a world. I expect Keon Ellis to get busy for this team.
What's
like
busy,
I could 12 to 15 points. Damn. I can see a world where he actually ends up starting for this team too. Yeah, like keep in mind, Yeagor's in his 2nd year. Mikel Brown Jr. is a rookie. Injuries happen as well.
I'm fairly sure they're going to start Terrence. Maybe.
Okay, injuries happen too.
Terrence.
So like I'm saying like there's a world where Keon and he might not start. he's going to play heavy minutes for this team, especially with those being young guys. Jordy's going to be a coach where he's probably going to be strict for these guys, and it might be a game where, hey, you messing up, young fella, come sit on the bench. Keon, go play 30 minutes tonight. And in those 30 minutes, I can see because keep in mind, like when Keon was playing for the Cavs, that is a veteran team, that's a playoff team, and they have one of the best backcourts in the league. You're not playing over here, buddy. So, for those who don't know, when your minutes are limited and when you're in, and Chill can attest to this, when you're in and out the rotation, it's hard to play consistently good. When you start getting more consistent minutes and you start getting burned and getting run, and now you can get familiar with just hooping and stuff, you actually do play better. So I can see a world where Keon Ellis, where he could average 12 to 15 points, get a couple steals, still shoot 40% from three, and he just has more freedom to actually be who he is, and he just looks better because of that.
If he averaging 12 to 15 a game, he's in the I don't think he is neither. But if he's averaging 12 to 15 a game, that means the Brooklyn Nets are a lot better than what I thought.
No, it means they're a lot worse.
No, it means they're tragic. But
it depends if he's starting or coming off the bench.
If he's coming off the bench, that's what I'm thinking. If he's coming off the bench.
Oh, yeah, because bench scoring is one of their biggest question marks this year.
Like, he is one of the highest 3-point rate guys in the league, in terms of like his role as a 3-and-D guy. I refute completely that he is not a good defender. I think he's a very good defender. Maybe not on the point of attack, guarding the block, switchable, no. Okay, fine.
Where's the defender then?
He's disruptive. Hang on, he's disruptive as hell. He gets deflections like a madman. He is a reasonable rim protector for an undersized guard.
No, he isn't.
Yes, he is.
Okay,
cool.
Not,
whatever you say, man.
That's not true.
He's a decent rebounder. He's active.
That part
and he gets to the spot. I value that. He's an attentive defender. He's not someone who falls asleep off the ball, constantly missing backdoor cutters and stuff. So he provides a stable floor. Is he going to anchor your defense? No one's asking him to. And he's not being paid to anchor your defense. What he's being paid to is, by the way, be on one of the longest positionally large teams in the league and take up space. And he can do that. Okay. Julius Randle is not a good defender. I don't think he's a good defender. Michael Porter Jr. is not a good defender. But you know what they are?
They're rebounders. They're not great
big
defenders.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They have a role. They can do something. There's nobody on this team, not one player on this team that I can point to and say they're as bad defensively as Trae Young.
Ken, when you are hunted, it's difficult for us to protect you.
Who are you hunting? Who are you hunting?
Keon Ellis, for example. And the reason why we hunting Keon Ellis, number one, you're small. So we're mismatch hunting you because we got bigger guards who can go up against you, like, for example, an Anthony Edwards. Go after him. He can't cover him.
So
and I'm not even.
That's why you have Josh Minot out there with him, because Josh Minot's 6'8" and can defend multiple positions.
But can he protect him?
This isn't a thing you need to do. My whole argument was he's not a POA, and Penn them laid out the things I said he was good on defense and bad on defense. And somehow there was a disagreement.
He's not a lockdown POA defender, but he's not a bad POA defender. He's not terrible.
Tell me. Okay, so we all agree. Everyone up here, despite how good he may be on defense, we all agree the only positions he's guarding is the guard position. We all agree on that.
He can't guard.
Tell me the guards you trust him to guard at the point of attack. And point of attack means you are guarding the primary guards, not you're guarding these weak guards who start in backcourts because they're also defenders. What primary guards are you trusting Keon Ellis to guard at the point of attack to the point where he's providing positive value doing that?
Because I can tell you who he's not.
Once again, Mars, you're framing the question in a way where I'm obviously forced to say, "Oh, you can't."
When I said he's
Scotty
not
Barnes,
a good point of attack, that's what I said.
But hold on, first of all, this is why, like, sometimes you get your head like in the sand and you completely miss.
No,
the
I say what I say.
No, your argument is Keon Ellis is not a good defender. Okay. Okay,
that's not my that
but
wasn't
not
my
being
argument.
not being able to
again. That wasn't my argument. My argument was he's not a good POA. I literally
Welcome to the show, Connor.
His value is away from the ball, forcing turnovers, causing havoc. I said he was a havoc wreaker. That's what I said he was on defense, and I think there's value to doing that. I think Keon Ellis is good at that. I said that verbatim. If you listened to me, you would have heard it. I said it. What I said was he's not a POA, and now that's why I'm standing on the same point.
Relax. Okay, tone it down.
So I'm standing on the same point I made. That he's not a good POA. So I'm going to ask you, who do you trust him as a primary guard to match up with and be a good POA in that role? Because that's the thing I said he's not good at. So what guards do you expect him to be good at in that role?
The central thesis, okay, listen to what I'm saying real carefully.
The
central thesis is that Keon Ellis is a good defender. You started refuting that he's not a good POA defender, so he's not a positive defender. Then you brought up the whole he's a havoc breaker.
Not what happens. He said he was a POA, and I said I disagree.
Who up here told you he was a great POA defender?
I said he was good at the point of attack.
Yeah, okay, he said he was a good POA.
I will concede that I don't think he's a lockdown defender at the POA. We talked about, is he Davion Mitchell level? I don't think he's bad. I don't think he's good either. I don't think he's Davion Mitchell. I don't think he's that level, but he's certainly not, like, when you compare him to guards that play in the NBA, he's certainly not below average. He's slightly above average of the POA. I'm saying his total impact defensively, especially if we factor in that he will be playing on a team that can bridge in a lot of his gaps and is exceptionally large positionally all over, where he'll almost always be the smallest guy on the court at 6'4". He's playing with jumbo guards. So he's almost always not going to be tasked to lock down. And if that's the argument is, can he stop Cade Cunningham? No, he can't. It's cool. Who can?
No, but yeah, no, and that's
why I'm saying, you said, who do you trust him? Who do you trust him on?
But more on this team, he will be a POA, and obviously, this is the team that we're talking about.
That's why I said to Connor, I disagree with him being a good one.
Okay. But you do no for
Penn is telling me he's not a bad defender when I never said he was a bad defender. My whole point was about him as a POA, but Penn likes to argue with me for some reason. I said to Connor he's not a good POA. I said why he was still adding value on defense, and he then laid out the same reasons why I said he was adding value to disagree with me when I said the same shit he just said.
So with that being said, Connor, really quickly, Connor, actually make your point first, because I got a point, but make your point first. Go ahead.
So do I think he's great? Do I think he's a generational player there? No. Do I think he can provide value? Absolutely. First, he's very quick. So he does have some size limitations. He's 6'4", 175. So he's not like Cade, who's 6'6" and 200 whatever pounds. So there is some limitation with the frame. He's long, though. He's very, very quick. And we've seen him be able to succeed in that area. So, like, I don't think that he's bad. I think he's good. And, like, he's not going to be a minus POA when you have him out there. He's fine. What he doesn't have in size, he makes up for in length. I think he has like a 6'9", 6'10" wingspan, whatever it is. And then you throw in the lateral quickness too. Like, I think that's what makes him so valuable and like able to take these guys stride for stride. Again, do I think he's great? Do I think he's one of the best in the league? No, probably not, because of the size limitations. But at the same time, he has workarounds just around the sheer size, and I think that's where he's beneficial on defense.
My problem with not just you, Connor, but with Penn was you guys talked about him being protected. I watched him in Boston last season, and I didn't watch a bunch of Boston games, but I did watch him in Boston. One of the major problems that he had was on defense, on a good Boston defensive team. So now we're going to move to Yes. No.
He didn't play in Boston.
No. Josh Mana. That's
what okay. Because I was talking about Ellis.
The reason why I'm bringing the reason why I'm bringing up Josh Mana is because Josh Mana is the guy that you're telling me is going to protect Ellis. Right? So he's the guy who is going to be switchable. Well, he was playing in Boston last year. He wasn't that good of a defender. In fact, he played himself out of the rotation, largely due to the fact that he didn't defend very well. Now he gets traded now to Brooklyn. Now he's in Brooklyn, who isn't going to be that good defensively because they don't have the personnel that Boston has. So now you're going to have to protect him even more. You couldn't do that when you were in Boston with a better defensive unit. How the hell is he going to do that in Brooklyn? Against? With
once
Ellis?
Again, Josh is another guy with long arms, positional size. He's not super heavy. Sure. You know, he's like 200 pounds, 215 pounds, to 205, 210 pounds. But he has positional size. He gets a ton of deflections. He's a decent rim protector for a wing. And he has a lot of versatility. He can guard like 3-4 positions. Josh is exactly the type of defender that you're looking for if you're looking to win the possession battle. And Keon is the type of, look, the value that these two provide defensively coming off the court is coming onto the court on the bench is awesome. Like, they could really create something with these two. And again, what I'm saying is when you go up against this Brooklyn Nets team, the measure of success for me, if I'm Jordi Fernández, is by mid-season, am I a tough game on somebody's schedule? Am I a game where people have to actually dial in and be like, oh, that's going to be hard. Like, they're going to be physical. They're going to hound me. They're going to turn the ball. They're going to hawk the passing lanes, and they have the personnel to do this. Okay. They have the personnel to do this. They have the professionals to do this. I'm really glad that Ron is muted right now so that we can't hear.
No, they don't, Pin.
But they do. You're lower on all these players than I am. But again, the argument on Keon Ellis, you can be very letter of the law and say, well, I said this, but I meant this, and I said this. The spirit of the argument is you're pretty much arguing he's not as good defensively as we're talking about, right? Because he can't do this one thing. And you're right. He cannot guard Cade Cunningham in the post, and he cannot stop Jalen Brunson. But again, that's not what he's being asked to do. He's being asked to come off the bench, hawk bench guards. So you asking me which
he's gonna
primary guard can he stop? What the fuck is that's not even his role? That's not even his role.
So
he's being paid $9 million as an expiring contract to come off the bench and do exactly what you said he can do.
By the way,
which is wreak havoc.
Per synergy, he's actually listed as a per synergy. He's listed as an average isolation and pick and roll ball handler defender. So you know what I mean. It's not terrible. It's
exactly
not good.
What I said. He's average,
but it's average.
I'm not going to rehash.
So he's not. He's not bad in terms of the things you.
I don't think it's worth the argument.
Pin, we about to.
My words were clear. We don't need to rehash it.
Yeah, we about to move off of Keon. What's good though, Connor? Talk to us.
Yeah, no, I wanted to piggyback on something Chill said about Josh Minot. So, few things with Minot. Why I have confidence that he's able to grow as a defender. Under Jordi Fernández. We've seen Jordi work defensive turnarounds on so many guys, particularly players of his size. I mean, Zaire Williams came in and was very, very effective in that regard, like a 3-and-D type role. I think that's what Minot's going to be for the Nets. B, he has the size. There's no doubt about that. The argument that we're having about Keon Ellis is completely different than Josh Minot. Josh Minot is 6'8". He's long. He's athletic. He has great length and athleticism. So you have he has the natural tools that you need. Now he's going into one full year with a really, really good defensive architect at the helm with Jordi Fernández. I think he's going to be a lot better there than he was last year with Boston, than he was with Minnesota. And keep in mind, there's still room for growth. It's not like we're talking about someone who's 27. We're talking about a 23-year-old who came in at the deadline, who was acquired for $110,000 in cash. I am very optimistic in Josh Minot, not only developing his defensive game, but giving you something as a scorer too. Night in and night out.
I want to make sure that I'm following you, Connor. Are you saying that they handed him over for a bag of cash? Here, take this, and that's it.
Yeah, $110,000.
That's what it sounded like. Like we put a bag of cash, hand him over for that.
I like Josh Minot a lot, especially on this team.
He's athletic as hell.
He's young.
I
like what he brings to the table.
He's going to be a player.
I agree.
The average NBA lifespan is about 4.5. So when you could draft a guy who's going to have a 5 to 6 year career outside of the top 10, you've probably done an okay job. I think Josh Minot is going to surprise some people, and I think my best thing I can say about Josh, he will still be in the league in 2030.
All right, well, Connor, it's about that time. But before you do leave, I do want to still ask you the question that I initially wanted to ask you in the beginning.
Okay.
What has to happen for the Brooklyn Nets to shock the world this season?
So, shock the world and have a good season. Two very different. To shock the world, I'll say Mikel Brown Jr. needs to have a Rookie of the Year type season. And I think that's going to be very hard to do. I think the top two guys budding for that award are Caleb Wilson and Cam Boozer. For Mikel to get there, he's going to need to be a dog scoring wise. He's going to need to be able to pull up from virtually anywhere on the floor. He's going to need to be able to shoot the three ball at a 40% clip, contribute defensively. I think you're looking at a Yegor Dioman year two leap. His role solidifies as, a wing, and they drafted him with the intention, I think, of him being the playmaking guard. After 1 year in, started to realize he's a really good three-point shooter, more so of a wing, though, not a guard. So I think you kind of learn that, and I think they get a playing spot. I think shocking the world would be like an 8 seed, and that's kind of disappointing given that they won 20 games. But that would be, I think that's the ceiling. Look, I'm trying to keep it a realistic ceiling here. I think MBJ is probably going to finish 4th or 5th in Rookie of the Year odds, to be honest, and that's around where he was taken. So I think that's fair. I think you get the confidence, like I was talking about earlier. I think it shock the world. You get the confidence that Jordi Fernández, at the very least, is your head coach of the future, and you can continue building with him. It's so tough to contend in the East, particularly for a team like the Nets, because if this is 5 years ago, maybe we're talking about the Nets being a play-in team. But now you look at the East, everyone got better this offseason. The Nets got better, yes, but a handful of other teams did it by even a wider margin.
So you guys' path to success or shock in the world essentially would be your rookie guard and second-year guard just exceeding expectations like crazy.
Yeah, that, and you want to get one of the other 4 guys from last year's draft. So Traore, Powell, Sarah for Wolf to like carve out a rotational role.
By the way, you're a little low on MBJ.
A little low?
I don't think you know what you guys got. Y'all got one with Mikel. Mikel is. You didn't like him in the summer league?
I loved him. I wanted that pick.
Yeah, okay.
I'm 15-5. That's pretty.
I think he's gonna surprise you. I don't know exactly where you're at with him.
He said 4th or 5th in rookie of the year, though. There's a lot of rookies this year.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of
There's
rookies
about as
every
many
year.
as that always.
Yeah, like what I'm saying is, but no, yeah, Swipe is saying that there's a lot of good rookies. Okay, I get what you're saying.
Mars starting another semantics argument. Is that what this day is today?
What I'm saying,
you know what I mean, Mars? Stop being an online terrorist terrorizing children. Just let people talk.
I just made a joke.
Golly, boy, Mars is on one today, bro. To untighten them joints.
You, Mars?
Goodness gracious,
loosen up that hoodie.
Let your neck breathe.
Now that the Debbie Downer is no longer
No.
It wasn't semantics on my side when I was the one who made the initial statement.
Debbie Downer's
I
back.
made the initial statement.
No, he's not.
It can't be semantics on my side when you misused my word. The argument started with what I said. Therefore, anything that I follow up with is not semantics. I am setting the baseline for what I said, which caused
supposed to be setting the standard for the 2011 year born person. Ron, do a better job. Please bring Ken up.
One in the conversation.
No. Go ahead. Go
ahead. Carter, before we let you go, I just want to let you know there is a chance. Actually, I'm not even going to say there's a chance. I'm just going to give my take. Cale Brown Jr. finishing top 3 in Rookie of the Year.
Well, no, I
hope you're right.
Like, I was going to ask you though, before Mars butted in with the semantics, is literally we're about to have a basketball conversation. So Caleb Wilson, AJ DeBesta, Darren Peterson, and let's say Keaton Wagler, Darius Acup, whatever. So
everyone but Kambuza.
Kambuza. You're saying Mikel, because of the amount of touches he's going to get, or is he going to be the third best in that group this year, Ron?
They're all going to get a lot of touches. But go ahead, Connor.
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say, like, I think the amount of opportunity Mikel is gonna get is he's gonna have much more free reign and keys to run the team than some of the other guys. Like Cam is gonna have that with the Grizzlies. Caleb will with the Bulls. AJ's in like an interesting situation with Washington. Like, have a shooter there and Trae Young, who I think people are still a little low on. Like, I know he's on a bad contract, but the Wizards didn't pay him that contract. They traded for it. He's going to be a walking bucket for you. He's going to be efficient from 3. He's going to be able to make plays. Can Anthony Davis stay healthy? The Wizards are my sleeper team. That's my hot take. I actually think they're going to make the playoffs this year. Like, that's my.
So does Chill. You had him at 40. Wait, Connor. So I can include you in this. Chill had them at.
You gonna
Wizards at 47 and a half.
Ask a 15-year-old to gamble? Is that what you're gonna do?
No.
Okay.
I'm talking about. Chill had him at 47 and a half. We have a standing adult bet for a tie for 47 and a half games. He's taking the more, I'm taking the less. Where are you on that? Where would you fall 47 and a half for the Wizards?
I would. So to make the playoffs, you're probably going to need more than that. So I just go right above. I'd probably say they win 49 games this year.
The Wizards?
Yeah, I'm a big Wizards.
Hey, Connor, you pack your lunch or you get lunch money?
Okay, he doesn't. But Connor has a job. No, Connor, save your money. Don't talk to him. Connor, Connor, if you ever go to a barbershop, Connor, and you're ever in a different part, like so you go to Harlem or whatever else, and you see these men on a box doing this with cards, that's Ron. That's who he is. He's gonna hustle you for that first 20, and you're gonna win, and then for the next 8 hands, you're gonna lose every dollar that you have. Never talk to the man that has the box with the cards. That is Ron.
Wow.
He's a
Last
hustler.
time Ron won a bet, Connor wasn't born. What are you talking about?
Well, he did win a bet for me this year when my quarterback went down, and he didn't want to rescind the bet. So, man, he's a dirty gambler. I will say that he's a dirty gambler.
Gambler.
Matter of fact, Bo Nix went down, and after going into the AFC Championship, we had a standing bet who's going to win more games: the Seattle Seahawks or the Denver Broncos. This person that invited you to this show did not rescind the bet, even though I lost my starting quarterback. Connor, and then he said that them losing Zach Charbonnet for the Seattle Seahawks is the exact same as the Denver Broncos losing the starting quarterback. Connor, how does that make you feel?
Zach Charbonnet isn't even wasn't even the RB1 on that team.
You would think that anybody with brains.
Bo Nix is a QB2, being forced to be a QB1.
In Sean Payton's system, he's a pretty effective quarterback.
Because he's in Sean Payton.
Shut up. All right, Connor. So I guess getting back to this. So Mikel Brown Jr. finishes as a top 3 candidate. What do you feel like has to go right for Mikel to do that this year?
He needs to be very effective from 3, efficient in that regard. He needs to score at ease downhill, and he needs to be good defensively. Like I want to see him come away with, steal a game and then be effective off the glass too. And most importantly, the playmaking ability, right? Like a concern that I do have a little bit with him is you watch him play in Summer League and he's a little slight. I don't want to say skinny, but like I can kind of see him getting tossed around a little bit against these bigger guards and combo guys and just NBA competition. So I feel like he needs to put on some weight a little bit too.
It typically happens as a rookie. What I liked about him in the Summer League is you could see his burst. You could see his quickness. You could see his explosion. You could see his shiftiness. And so like having that as a guard, combo guard, that's one of your biggest assets. Like obviously shooting is a huge asset. Say that one more time, Pin.
He has the best handle in this draft. He is like right up there. If it's not best, it's second best. He is awesome in that.
The A-Cuff?
No, I'm gonna give it to Mikel. And yeah, like between those two. And unlike A-Cuff, like I do believe, he gets pushed around. But when's the last time Mikel Brown Jr. was the 3rd or 4th or 5th best player on a team? Like, all the roles settle, right? So
he's so athletic.
And Jordi, for all the praise that I've heaped on Jordi, I think the one thing is he will have a good connection with the point guard. And he already proved last year with Yegor Diemen. Now, I don't want to give all of Yegor's ascendance to Jordi, but I guarantee you he has a large role in that. Some coaches do very well at coaching certain positions. That's why Patrick Ewing, anytime you got a center on your team, boom, Patrick Ewing, assistant coach. Some coaches just do a good job of coaching certain positions. I think Jordi does a great job of coaching the point guard position. I think he's gonna clean up a lot of Mikel Brown's mistakes. But as I've always said, with young players, mistakes can be a good thing. He tries a lot of things. He has a chance. You might like this comparison. There's a little bit of Tyreek Evans meets LaMelo Ball meets Damian Lillard in his game. Okay, I'm not saying he's going to be as good as any of those guys were.
I like the LaMelo comp.
But there's a just, you know what it is? He is delusionally confident.
Where do y'all see the LaMelo? Because I see the Dame and I definitely see the Tyreek. I could see the combo.
I see the LaMelo and just like the being able to pull up and shoot anywhere and just like the shiftiness.
That's where I see the Dame
handle. Yeah, but I think he's more shifty. I think his like movement
and the size too, by the way.
And he is a bit more like slinky.
Oh, no, Tyreek was more like a physically developed guard, so like we don't know what he's gonna do when he gets some weight on him. But NBA strength and training is a hell of a thing, right? Definitely. So this guy can, if he decides, I have an opportunity to be a franchise player for an organization, and that opportunity does not come along very often. Caleb Wilson got the same opportunity in Chicago. Cam Boozer got the same opportunity in Memphis. AJ and Darren got the same opportunity in Washington and Utah. You got a bunch of guys, and Acuff got the same opportunity in Sacramento. Which one of these guys are going to grab the reins comes down to which one of these guys is going to be humble enough to trust the work, trust their coaches, get better. I think Mikel Brown, everything I've heard from them this offseason, I think he's going to be a good one. I do.
I can get with that.
Yeah, with you there for sure. Definitely.
All right, Connor, it has been a pleasure. Would you like to tell people one more time what they need to do? Don't ask them to follow you. Tell them to follow you.
Well, guys, this was really fun. Thank you so much for having me.
Sorry you heard the curse words you heard today, by the way, but we apologize.
It's all I'm used to it at this point. It's all good. Follow me on Twitter, please, if you can, at Connor_long15, at CONNOR_long numbers 15. Then follow my podcast, subscribe to it on YouTube, The Brooklyn Boys Show, talking Brooklyn Nets basketball year round every single day. Thank you all again. It was fun. Really enjoyed getting
Brooklyn Boys. Is that a callback to Jay-Z? The Brooklyn Boys?
It is not.
No.
I kind of, my co-host and I came up with it. We were like, you know what? We just thought it's actually my co-host Josh's idea, and he
Well,
thought
Connor,
it sounded smooth. And I'm like,
Final two questions. Who's your favorite artist out of New York, by the way?
Out of New York. Oof. Out of New York, that's tough. I'm not gonna go like cop out and say Jay-Z, and not Jay-Z, not J. Cole, because he made Ford Still Drives in New York. I'll say Jay-Z.
Okay, but for you, it's J. Cole.
I was rooting.
My favorite artist in general is J. Cole. Yeah, not even.
Okay, all right. So J. Cole. So, and then the final question is: the Pro Bowl has been eliminated in the NFL. As a Jets fan who's had a couple Pro Bowlers, how do you feel about that?
It's kind of sad that they couldn't make it work. I enjoyed watching the skills competition, but at the same time, like it literally became a flag football game. Like it got ridiculous at a point.
Awful.
No.
Yeah.
Sean Taylor rolling over in his grave.
Well, no, football's different now. But by the way, Connor, your Jets, I think, are going to be very well positioned this next year. I like your running back room. Your receiving room is also nice. You have a good tight end room as well.
Yes.
Your defense should be good. Now, next year, we'll see what you do. You know, Dante Moore obviously did not want to go there this last year, but we'll see what happens next year. Do you think Garrett Wilson in fantasy is going to be a wide receiver one this year? Are you convinced he's a wide receiver one this year?
In fantasy, yeah. I mean, like he's been that one these past 3 years with no stability at quarterback. Geno Smith's only going to help him consistency wise. I think also unlock his deep game. Like Garrett, I believe is going to play a lot at the X this year, and I think that's only going to help him like unleash that next level to his game because we all know the crazy athleticism, the route running ability that he has, and he could streak downfield and take the best of the best stride for stride. He just hasn't had a QB who could get him the ball when he has created enough separation. So I think that's going to be this year.
No, I appreciate
Connor,
that.
all I know is you guys might not win 5 or 6 games, but I know you're going to win week 14. That's all I know.
You play Denver.
That's all I know.
Oh yeah, because it's Denver and then Arizona. No, they're not beating Denver.
Connor, you're draft eligible in 2030, right? So is PC
For
drafting
what
this
draft
year?
exactly?
Oh yeah, I'm a hybrid. I'm a two-way player, basketball and baseball. Oh yeah.
We're talking podcasting draft. Is PC drafting?
He don't know. He don't know you're a 4-tool prospect. That's what he don't know.
I'll leave it up to my agent and the representatives that PC has to then make that decision.
Like that
You
is
know how
very
to
disheartening,
politic
to be
already.
honest.
God damn.
That
that
is-
was-
that is-
What's disheartening, Jill?
But the Pro Bowl is over. That sucks, man.
It's been over for 10 years.
It has been. That's the
Yeah.
that's the downside. Like I remember the Pro Bowl, and the Pro Bowl was the highlight right before the Super Bowl.
Yeah, before we knew what CTE
Oh, it
was
u-
and all
it
that,
used to
the
be
Pro
good
Bowl
back
was
in
fun.
the
Yeah.
day?
Oh, the
Is
Pro
that
Bowl
what
was
it-
a big ass deal, yo.
Mhm.
The Pro Bowl.
Oh
was
yeah,
a
when
big
Sean Taylor
deal.
played, like you said, I mean it
Yes.
ended about 15 years ago when it pretty much became
To see
two-hand
the Pro
touches.
Bowl
Connor,
What,
but you
flag
didn't even get to
football game?
see Sean. This is what I will say. It's the thing that a little frustrating. I'm glad that you're a Jets fan. I don't think people realize. He doesn't realize. Sean Taylor was murdered in 2007. He never saw Sean Taylor. I
on his
can't
way to
begin to
being the best
explain to
ever.
you. 2001. Now I want you to go back and look at the Miami Hurricane. I'm sure you know what that team is. Sean Taylor was a backup on that team. He had to come off the bench for Ed Reed. Antrell Roll came off the bench in 2001. If you
Frank
get a chance,
Gore
Yeah, that's
came
crazy.
off
Frank
the
Gore
bench.
came off the bench.
Frank
They moved
Gore.
Willis McGahee to fullback because they had Clinton Portis.
That's crazy.
So like,
Yeah.
just you know what I mean. Andre Robertson was on. Andre Johnson was on the team. Like they had the tight end room was crazy. They had Kellen Winslow Jr. was running down on kickoff that year.
We were talking about it at the time that the NFL scouts, they need to have a scout that just scouts the Miami Hurricanes.
Yep.
That's it.
Yeah.
He don't need to be in
At
the
that point,
Southeast.
probably.
You
Yeah.
just need to be in Miami dealing with the Miami Hurricanes. Okay, I'll take that guy. Nope, not him, but him. I'll take that guy. I
Yeah.
don't scout
But
no
Connor, you
teams in the
even
Southeast.
missed the Mark Sanchez days when y'all went to 2 AFC championships. So the best year of your football life is when you got Fist Magic
And I wasn't even
Taking you
watching then.
to a
Yeah.
10-6 season. Chill, what was that?
10-6
10-6
and missed the playoffs. Yeah, the best year like I've actually watched every game for was 2022, and that was 4 years ago. And they ended up winning 7 games that season after starting
Wow.
7-4.
All
So
I know is there are a lot more Jets fans than you know. A lot.
That's tough, man. Yeah.
tell them.
My
Why did
cousin-
it just sound like the Kings? What the hell?
God,
Yeah.
it kind of.
Wait, who's worse? Who's
Because
worse,
they
Ron?
are, because
The
they are.
Kings or the Jets? Who's worse, Ron?
Bro, the Jets are ridiculous. Like,
the Jets haven't made the playoffs since about to be 16 years.
Well, I mean, the Kings just did that,
Well,
but the Kings
was what, 18 years?
Yeah, but the Kings aren't like the laughing stock of the
That
NBA.
dude's garbage. Get the Kings
Jets
out of
are
here.
like,
the dudes is
Who's the laughing
trash.
stock of the NBA if it's not the Kings?
I don't. The Kings, like, here's the thing: like, the Jets are the laughing stock of the NFL. The Kings are like, they're just an afterthought. Like, nobody even. They're like that team where you don't even. They're so bad where we don't even pay them no mind.
But the Jets actually have.
If the NBA has a laughing stock, I feel like it's the Kings or the Clippers.
Jets went to
I feel
two
like it's one
AFC
of those-
championships.
I think it's the Clippers.
No, it's not
Okay.
the Clippers. Mm-mm.
The Clippers
I feel like
just.
it might be the Clippers. Yeah, I feel like it might be the Clippers.
Well,
The reason why it's not the reason why it's not the Clippers is because the Clippers have actually, I think that, if I'm not mistaken, you guys can fact check this. I think that they've had a winning record every year over like the last 15 years.
Yeah, but everyone still knows they're not going to do nothing. You come
No.
into every year.
The
Saying
Jets
the
are
same
worse than the
shit.
Clippers, though, y'all. The
Oh,
Jets are
you know
worse
how
than
I feel about the
Clippers.
Clippers.
Yeah,
that doesn't make
you
that
know.
doesn't. But I don't think that they're a laughing stock. I just don't believe
the
in them.
Jets are worse than the Clippers, y'all. The Jets
Yeah,
are
I
worse.
Someone
I
say the
just don't
Clippers
believe
going to
in
win a chip. I think people start laughing.
I'm not
at
buying
them.
that. I'm not buying none of that. No.
Like the biggest.
You seen Clipper Darrow yesterday?
Well, but
I
Connor,
was
you had Brandon Marshall
See?
who had an
You
all
didn't,
pro
yeah,
season.
you didn't laugh at Carter today. You laughed all that Clipper Darrow all day yesterday. Talk about they gonna win 50 games. Oh my god.
Oh, who'd you guys have on for the Clippers?
Clipper Darrow.
Oh, okay. I thought.
And we
was
had
that-
Adam.
I thought. Oh,
We had
yeah.
Adam on.
Yeah. I know Adam. He does good work, but Clippers. Yeah, it's kind of
Absolutely.
crazy.
Connor, do you think you win a in your lifetime? So let's say by your time you're Chill's age, so 52, right? So by the time you get there, will you win both? If you had to place it over under Chill, we're putting it at 1.5. Both combined, Jets and with the Nets. Do you win under or more than 1.5 championship with both of those franchises?
Oh, under. Maybe one. Maybe one. Maybe one.
You got 37 years to get there, and you still
Maybe.
never winning.
Ever.
Start with making the playoffs.
Never winning.
Wait, Jets and Nets. You're saying under 1.5.
Yes, that maybe one. I'm being serious. Like the Jets probably won't have one by then. The Nets maybe one because the NBA is just like more unpredictable. Like just stuff goes down throughout the year, and you kind of
accepting you're probably never going to see any of your teams win anything is interesting. But
To be honest with you, Connor, I can die a happy man. I saw my Mets win I was around when the Mets won the World Series, and I saw my 49ers win the Super Bowl.
Win.
So I'm good. I saw us win all five. I was here when we won all 5 of them.
Many moons ago.
Was that the 8?
Many moons
I was
ago.
around when that was going on. I was alive. Not only was I alive.
Let me look.
Wait, but Chill, you were Connor's age when they won.
So you don't have to look it up.
I would
Mars.
love that.
So Mars, we won the Super Bowl in 81. We won it again in 84. We won it again in 88 and in 89, and then we won it again in 94. I was alive for all of that.
And when did the Mets win?
The Mets won in 86. Yes, sir. The lovable Mets. I was around when that happened. Yes, sir. I was
You might
around.
be the only person who was
Wait,
around.
Connor, would you rather have a foundation like Chill where you have winning early, or what you're experiencing where you're not winning at all, but you win later? It's like, which one would be better to have? Like, a history
winning
of
early.
Winning early. Okay. Because
Yeah,
Chill can just
because
kind of
it's
sit back and be like,
Yeah, well, Chill. You were able to just like brag to everyone in school. Like you were just
Absolutely.
Yeah,
But
you
I feel
can't
like
touch
winning
it.
early, then when you go 40 years without winning anything, you still believe that your team is meant to be winning stuff because that's what it was.
like
when
look
you
at
was young.
Cowboys fans, for example, right? Like
Poor
there are
guys.
people in their 50s.
But like if you grew up and your team sucked and then you win one, you're going to appreciate that because you remember the dark days. When you grow up and your team's winning,
Fair.
when you go 40 years without winning, you're going to be like, why are we not winning? Back in my
Mars,
day, we was
Mars,
winning.
You
Right.
understand, Mars, that from 2003 to 2013, we didn't go to the playoffs as the 49ers. We were garbage.
And I bet you guys were depressed.
We were garbage, trash. We missed a whole decade where we didn't forget going to the bowl game. We did not make the playoffs.
and then you had a quarterback, and then Ron, final point, they had a quarterback get them there, and then they ended up doing what to him, Chill? They said, hey, get out of here. Get out of here, Colin Kaepernick. That was a great era, man. Great era for 49ers football.
Yeah, shout out
Connor, you were
Alex
great
Smith
today.
and Brock Purdy. Oh man, such good teams. But all right, Connor, it has been a pleasure once again.
yes,
We hope to see you soon. Keep
Definitely.
doing what you're doing. The future is bright in Brooklyn for you and maybe the Nets.
Good to talk
Thank
to
you.
brother.
Well, I
Absolutely.
appreciate it. Thank you
All
guys.
right, my friend.
Talk soon. Have a great day.
Talk to you, brother.
See you, Connor.
Merry
Bye, guys.
Christmas.
Yes, sir.
All right, y'all. This Brooklyn Nets episode is only going to get worse from here because Connor actually is a logical Nets fan. But now we have some guys that, they might do a Clipper Darrow and say, we're going to win 50 games this year. My man, one of the most consistent people in the chat, big fan Breezy with the Brooklyn. What's good, man?
No, Breezy is illogical. Breezy is not illogical.
We like Breezy.
Is he?
Breezy not illogical when it comes to the Brooklyn Nets.
He was mad at me that I said Jalen Green was better.
Unmute yourself, man.
We can actually talk. We can talk Brooklyn basketball with my boy Breezy. Yeah, we could do that. No doubt.
Man. Absolutely, man.
Yeah, no doubt. We could talk that. Now, some other Brooklyn fans, it might get a little tricky. But Breezy, he actually got some sense. Because he's a realist when it comes to the Brooklyn.
I like the optimism, though. I was chilling with Chill, on his show. Shout out to Big Ox, but he wasn't there that episode. And a caller called up and said that he think the Nets could shock the world by going to the play-in, then going to the 7th seed, then playing the Knicks when they're the 2 seed, beating the Knicks in the first round. It was the most incredible shit I ever heard. Now, I'm not parroting or reiterating the same exact thing, saying that it can happen, but ask Chill for starters. So y'all don't think I'm just pulling this out the air. Chill, I need you to back me up, Chill. This is really happening.
No, this is absolutely what happened. He broke down exactly how they can make the playoffs and they could win, I think, between 39 and 43 games, barring any injuries. Igor is going to take a step up and he's going to play at an all-star. He's not going to be an all-star, but he's going to play at an all-star level. And this kid, Mikel Brown, is going to be not 15-5, but he's going to be in the Rookie of the Year conversation. And Danny Wolf is going to turn into what they thought he was going to turn into. Yes, Danny Wolf is what they're going to turn into. And then when he broke down what was going on with them playing against the Knicks, it was like, once we beat the Knicks, like it's almost like winning a championship. I'm straight. To knock out the New York Knicks, we ain't even got to win it no more. But to knock out the defending NBA champs, I was blown away when I heard that.
Breezy, you've been locked in the whole episode?
Yeah. I shout out to Connor. He did a great job. Only discrepancy I had is him saying that, it wasn't no Nets content creators out here. I've been out here for a minute doing work. You know what I mean? Shout out to me, shout out to Leaf, shout out to Nets Kingdom, shout out to all of the Nets content creators out there. You know what I'm saying? But Connor, he does great work. He's been on my show. Definitely trying to do a collab show with Connor. That's my guy, man. He did great work. I was watching the whole show from 11 o'clock.
Who's doing the worst job of talking about your Nets up here?
Honestly,
so basically, who's not glazing?
I'm not even saying who's glazing the most, because obviously that would be myself. But I'm saying like who is just objectively out to lunch and missing the boat on what your team is doing. Like who just not tapped in to Brooklyn Nets basketball right now?
I thought all you guys were excellent. The only thing that I would say that I disagree with is the macro being Keon Ellis. He's the micro, you know what I'm saying? He's whatever y'all say, I thought y'all spent a lot of time talking about Keon Ellis. I always talk about the Brooklyn Nets and we talk about Keon Ellis, but as a defender, he could be a PO defender, like nagging on the defense, but Minot is the real guy. He's the real Jim. And I don't think, to Chill's point, I don't think it was so much he missed so many defensive assignments or more of the Celtics wanting to focus on a rookie they drafted in Hugo Gonzalez. You know what I'm saying? I feel like they just wanted to put more energy into his career opposed to Josh Minot. They had to choose, and Josh Minot was just on the other end of that. You know what I mean? But y'all was talking hoops. I mean, Ron was talking the trash in the chat and all of that, but I'm not tripping on none of that. I know a lot of fans don't believe in us. I seen a poll. Yeah, you were saying that it's really a Knicks episode and all of this and that. I'm like, bro, like what you mean? Like, to Chill's point, yeah, we would have to go through the Knicks if they won the championship. But again, I used to study the Knicks because I had a podcast. It was a split podcast. Case in point is they do the same thing that all other championship teams do for the most part on how to build a championship roster. And they had a big man in the defender and Mitch Robinson. They had, which Cat didn't have to play the defense as much because he stayed out of foul trouble because of players like Mitchell Robinson. So I'm just saying that to say, I know we would have to go through them, but they did the same thing that, you know what I mean, the other teams did. They had defenders, and defense is a big part of it. And I'll land the plane saying some of the best basketball that the Nets played. When we went to the finals, we was top 1 and 2 in defense. You know, I know we saying a lot of this, and the conversation is the offense because we don't really have a lot of defenders. But when we played our best basketball, you know what I'm saying, we was the top #1 team in the East. I mean, the league, and the #2 team that next year. So, you know, I hope we could get a center, because that's all I feel we need. I think, to Connor's point, that's all we missing. We get a Ren, if that ever happened. And I think that the Pistons, they can't afford to miss out on the MPJ. They can't. They pretend they could, but they just was in the one of the worst teams, and then they bounce back. But they can't go back to being the bad roster. They need to play like MPJ, maybe at the trade deadline.
Is it
Durant not happy
possible you
yet.
got the center in Dayron? Because, like, I mean, look, like when Isaiah Hartenstein was a backup with the LA Clippers, I was screaming from high heaven, this is a starting center. Then he goes to New York, and he's a backup center again to Mitchell Robinson. And once again, I'm screaming from high heavens, this guy's better. He doesn't get that opportunity until Mitchell Robinson goes down and he starts, and people are like, oh shit, he's good. Now he goes to OKC, wins a championship, and now everyone's like, okay, Isaiah Hartenstein, probably a top 15 starting center. I think Dayron Sharpe is very similar to Isaiah Hartenstein. Very similar. Love his touch, great passer, really good rebounder, good rim protector. I think y'all got a starting center. I'm not trying to overpay for Jalen Duren. I'm not trying to make some big stupid swing for Ivica Zubac. No offense, to the Pacers. I think y'all got it, man. Like I was pushing everything towards the table. Raptors trade a first-round pick to get Dayron Sharpe last year because the Nets not doing shit with him. They got Nick Claxton. Now y'all cleared Nick Claxton out of the way, so I feel like y'all got your starting center. We will see if I am right, but he is one of my favorite players in the NBA. No cap.
Yeah, no, I agree with you about Dayron. We call him double Day. I think he's significant, but he don't play above the rim. And you got two players at the 1 and the 2 who interchangeable, could be the 1 or the 2, and they're gonna need to get downhill. And if they had a pick and roll threat, you know what I'm saying, at the center, which I don't feel like Dayron Sharpe is. I don't feel like he's a pick and roll threat. You know what I mean? You could maybe hit him with a nice bounce pass, but he's not really playing above the rim like that. You know what I mean? But his offense is going to come from the free throw line if he get there, and putbacks and offensive rebounds. You know what I'm saying? I don't really look at him as somebody we could give it to on the post and he could score the ball. You know what I mean? So, I think we limited.
Pass the ball from the post, and that I think is very underrated. There are not a lot of bigs. I mean, you got Echo there, Leaf. There are not a lot of bigs that you can give the ball to in the center of the court, and they're going to make the right decision more often than not, right? And that's what I think makes Isaiah Hartenstein such a scalable, player, where you could put him in to a situation, say play the roll man connector, short roll passer, and I think Dayron does all of that. Once again, it's not a sexy, flashy, he's going to be a future all-star, he's going to be future MVP shit. I'm not projecting that. I'm saying Dayron Sharpe, Keon Ellers, Josh Minot, every one of these players is like a player who can fit into a championship team. Y'all don't have this. But let me make one swap. And I'm not saying this is a swap y'all could make. But if you swapped Mikel Brown Jr. for Luka Doncic right now, if that's the gap, y'all are friggin' like contender in the East. That's the gap. Now, but y'all have the pieces around. You know what I mean? Like a lot of these teams, they're very thin. The Nets are not thin. Like they have considerable depth and pieces that actually function on good teams that don't make a lot of stupid mistakes. Keon Ellis could be a 10th man on a championship team. Dayron Sharpe could be a 7th guy on a championship team.
He got played out of the rotation in Boston.
You're stuck on that.
I am stuck on that.
But to me, like, I have to judge the player objectively for what they do on the court. Look,
everything that you say he's good at, everything that you say he's good at.
The Boston Celtics liked Hugo Gonzalez so much they held him out of Giannis trades. That's who he lost his rotation spot to. Okay, so that's the only reason he was out of the rotation.
Everything that you tell me that Minot is good at, he should have been good in Boston because that's what they do there.
But Hugo Gonzalez is younger and they love him. And I like Hugo too. I think Hugo is awesome.
Kid, 23 years old.
Okay, Hugo is like 19.
20. Give me a break. But
whatever.
Even with that being said, everything that Minot is supposed to be good at, that's what Boston thrives at. Defense, shooting the long ball, energy guys. All of those things. He played himself out of the rotation. That's why he ended up getting traded. Not because of the bread, even though the Boston Celtics were basically penny pinching, but they could have got him on the cheap. But they decided to go in another direction off the strength that everything that he's supposed to be good at, which we thrive at, he wasn't.
So you're anchoring your decision to like sleep on this guy. This is a guy who has gone up like 8% as a 3-point shooter. He's improved. He's improved across the board, man. Like he was hella efficient last year. 63% effective field goal percentage last year from a player that you think was discarded. Look, man, I followed this guy's career for a pretty long time. He was recruiting, in the recruiting class 2021. He's from Florida. I was already watching Scotty Barnes and Cade Cunningham and Monver, so obviously tangentially paid attention to him as well. I've always been high on him. Always have been. I think he's going to have an opportunity this year. I like Josh Mana. I like Daron Sharp. These are my guys. Like in terms of draft evaluation, these were guys that I was higher on the consensus. You know who else is my guy? Peyton Watson. That's another one of my guys. Like these are guys that I focus on in the draft, and I'm like, everyone is missing the boat on what these guys are good at, and they're going to work out.
He was brought in. He was
never heard of him talking about Peyton Watson, but whatever.
You can scratch your head all you want. I got documented proof on that one. I got an entire episode covering the 2022 draft, 2023 draft, 2024 draft. I graded. In fact, let me put this: I was in Denver on Christian Brown.
Me fighting for Peyton, I never once heard him fighting alongside of me, but whatever.
That's a lie. You just lying. You just lie.
I don't know, man.
You want to lie?
Yeah,
keep lying.
I'm trying to remember that. Penn's been pretty consistent when it comes to the players he loves. But go ahead, Ron. I'm sorry.
Yo, chat. We're honored to have my man Leaf Diddy with us right now. What's good, man?
Bro, hold up. It's Leaf, bro. Don't do that.
That's what I said. I said Leaf. I said Leaf.
No, you know what you said after that, bro, and everybody heard you. Come on.
Audio. It's like,
my audio too loud.
Leaf Diddy.
Super loud. You got.
Oh, my bad.
Man, leave it alone. Tell Penn to get off the mic.
Bad, man.
Look, you good. We can hear you now. You hot. Now you hot.
All right, but everything that a lot of the stuff that Penn said, I mean, I agree with, but we got to understand that the best rapport on this team is the coach, and that's Jordi Fernández. So realistically, going forward, I'm noticing a pattern about how the teams that he had, even when he is assistant coach, was set up. It's a point guard that has a lot of range and has a good amount of scoring, which we got in Mikel Brown, and a very, very skilled 5-4. And I understand what everybody was saying about Daron Sharp and everything, but just going back to how Jordi likes to coach, I'm not gonna be surprised, and somebody gonna blast me in the chat. And I know Breezy gonna have something to say about this, but I'm not gonna be surprised if Danny Wolf is at the forefront of some type of starting position on this team. So I really won't. And a lot of people just
he should he not be? I mean, you spent the first round pick on him. So he should,
it was the first round 27th. Yeah, it was the first round 27th though, but it wasn't a lottery. In terms of our backcourt, I think that's who we have the foundation to build around. But I think the progress of what you were saying, you every time I come on your channel, Chill, you always talk about we gotta find something out of these last two drafts. That's what the main thing is. I think Mikel shines a light on what everybody believes of how everybody believes Brooklyn could play in the future. But Yegor and so many others have a chance to improve and have any chance to get minutes and improve on this roster as well. I just don't think everything is going to be about the veterans in the 2-year contracts in the beginning, but over time, everybody has to look for what in the last 2 years could come out of this team and get to the forefront of being an actual rotational player.
So you figure y'all had 5 ones last year, and then this year you got the first round pick in Mikel Brown, who I think is a foundational piece. So that's 6 guys. Of these 6 guys, we have to have some sort of foundation. I think Igor and Mikel Brown, I think that's your foundation. I'm not really sure what Danny Wolf is. I'm not sure how you play him. Is he a pick and dive guy? Is he a pick and pop guy? Is he a dirty work guy? Is he? I don't know exactly what he's good at.
7-foot ball handler.
He's a 7-foot ball. He's a 7-foot ball handler. And his skill set is comparable. I'm not gonna say it out loud, man. But his
Say it out loud. Say it out loud.
I'm not
gonna say it out loud. Say it out loud.
Listen, I'm not gonna say it out loud.
I'll say it out loud.
You came up here to talk about the Brooklyn Nets. What is his skill set comparable to?
Talk that shit.
His skill set is comparable to a wing, but at the center. But he has
what
center's
wing
height?
Because there's a wing you talking about.
But he has the center's height. He could dribble, pass, and
that ain't
shoot.
what I'm asking you, Leaf. Who is his skill set comparable?
It's not necessarily a who. I just said a wing.
Why you said it? Why did you say for all intents and purposes? Why did you say? Well, I'm not going to say that. I mean,
I've said I'm not going to say a name. I'm not. That's what I said.
But you do have a name. What name do you? What name?
No, I don't have a.
Yes, you do. That's why you're not going to say it.
I don't. Leaf. You can't come up here and get chased, right?
Chill. If I say I don't have a name, that's what I don't have. I'm not going.
Lying.
You're not lying. You're not going to butt my head off about nothing.
You just don't want to say it. But the point is if he has this skill set, right? If Danny Wolf has this skill set of a wing at 7 foot, okay, what does that mean exactly?
That means that he has something that Jordi is familiar with in the past with past teams. He what Jordi has ran with, and Swiper, you can correct me if I'm wrong, bro. Like when he got to the Nuggets was 2016, 2017.
He was there for a while.
Yeah, he was there for a while, bro. He was there with Jamal Murray, who they got. I think that they got that first year when he came in, and the Joker. And then when he got to Sacramento, he got Sabonis, and obviously they had what's
his skill set as a rookie? What's his skill set compared to Joker as a rookie?
What's his skill set compared to Joker
as a rookie?
No, not as a rookie. No.
What is his skill set compared to Sabonis when he was in Sacramento?
He was early in Sacramento. Sacramento.
Early on.
I think early on.
Yes, sir.
It's not as comparable as like all around, but you can see certain things that's there in terms of dribble, pass, and shoot concepts.
Are we on that? Are we on that trajectory? Like he could? Are we on that trajectory that he could be that good?
It really depends on the reps.
So like if he's playing 30, 35 minutes,
it really depends on the reps. It really depends on the reps and his improvement. But I think that Jordi just got to take a shot at it, bro. Like I think in terms like we got to understand that Jordi teams is more on the offensive side of things than he are the defense. He's more of a ladder type of coach. I think he's going to be here for a while, but until he gets like the two-way players that he believe in to play alongside of any of the young players that's moving up on the ladder in the scale in the pecking order, bro, I think that's
where we getting them guys from. Our team. Where we getting those guys? Where are we getting those guys from in the draft?
Probably.
So we still building this thing. All right.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, we still building this thing, but it's not going to be a let's not compete type of year because MPJ, obviously, Porter Jr., Randall, and other veterans are on the roster. They're not going to go out there and just roll over. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, 25 to 30 wins, bro.
But they're going to be rolling. Like they might not go and roll over, but they gonna get rolled over. If you get what I'm saying.
Listen, a large percentage of the world, the basketball world, believes so. I mean, it's not for me to believe, but like we can only see what happens when it happens. All I'm gonna say is that, bro, like this is gonna be a whole lot better now than we was a year ago. I will say that
you're in a better position.
We're in a way better position, because we actually got a pick that we could move forward with, bro, with Mikel. Chill always asks me who y'all building this thing around, and realistically, there was no definitive answer. But now that we have a backcourt for the future with Mikel and Yegor, I think that shines a whole lot brighter than what we had a year ago, or what we had 2 years ago when we decided to blow things up and go for the picks.
So now we got a plan, is what you're saying?
Yeah, we got we got a plan, but the plan is not formally graduated to a foolproof plan. And like, yo, let's move on with this, and then
we don't have to have a foolproof plan, but we got an idea of what we're trying to do.
We got an idea, yeah.
All right, we got an idea. So what's the plan moving forward with Ben Sarif?
Ben Sarif, he's trash. He off the team.
Okay, so you out on Ben?
Hold on.
Yeah.
Let me just say this. Shout to staff.
Breeze, you know he trash, bro. Don't do this.
Hold on. Shout to staff. I met him in Brooklyn the other day. He's from Israel. I mentioned Ben Saraf. He said, yes, Ben Saraf, he's our hero. Ben Saraf is big news, big chat in Israel. Big thing for, you know what I mean, him to be playing in the NBA. He even said one day his son, right. He even said one day he hoped his son go to the NBA. So shout out to you, shout out to your son. Now I'm only saying that to say that Ben Saraf is somebody that plays downhill, don't have no jumper, right? If we just gonna articulate what his game is, he don't have no jumper. He got to work on his jumper, but he could get downhill. He could draw the foul, and he really finished well, to be honest with you. So yeah, I see what Leaf's trying to say, but just telling you what his game is. He's able to get past defenders, but he got to learn how to finish. But to your point, Leaf, Danny Wolf, I want to ask you, what lineup do you think he's best in? Where is he at in that rotation? And like, who's next to him? Because I got him at the 4. I got Clowney at the 5 in the small lineup. I got Minot at the 3. I got Keon Ellis at the 2, and I got Nolan Traore at the 1. How do you see Danny Wolf being the best? And again, I got nothing bad to say about him. I just don't think he's gonna be 20, 10, and 5. That's where me and you disagree. I think Danny Wolf could be 12, 6, and 3.
Wait. Leaf, I heard you said 20, 10, and 5?
I did hear that too, Ron. I heard 20, 10, and 5.
Wait. Leaf, that came out your mouth?
Yes, sir. He said Danny Wolf is a 20, 10, and 5 guy. That's an all-star.
When?
I said it. Well, I didn't say it here.
No.
Obviously.
When did you say it? When is he going to be 20, 10? Is it going to be when he goes to Tel Aviv?
No, it's going to be when he finally gets the minutes, bro. Like that's what it's going to be contingent on. It's going to be contingent on minutes. Well, that's just my belief, bro. Like if I stand on that hill by myself, I don't care. You know what I'm saying? Like I stand on that hill all by myself, bro. I don't need nobody up here. When it happened, bro, don't tell me you was here when it was happening, when it was going on. That's all I have to say. So I stand on the hill by myself.
I'm making my take.
So realistically, if it happens or if it doesn't happen, it's like mostly it's going to be relative towards minutes. Obviously, that's number one. Number two, it's going to be relative towards him getting consistent minutes in the starting lineup and him getting consistent usage rate in the starting lineup. If I believe that Jordi Fernández is the coach that I believe he is, I think Danny Wolf at some point is going to be heavily featured, bro, in the future at some point. If I believe that Jordi Fernández is the coach that I think he is in terms of with heavy skill set bigs, then as opposed to rim running bigs or bigs that could just get up and down and then rebound and then fill the lanes. That's just me.
So he played 21 minutes last year. What does that go up to this season?
To me, it should go up to 28. So I mean, but we don't know. But like,
that's my issue. Why don't we know?
Because I ain't in the damn training staff. That's why.
No. I'm asking you this question. The reason why I'm asking you this question because the reason why I'm asking you this question because you think he a 20 and 10 dude. You don't think Jordi Fernández see that? Fuck you talking about?
He's not saying he's 20 and 10 today. He's saying
you think this dude is a 20 and 10 dude.
Hold on,
if you think he is hold on, Penn. If you think he is a 20 and 10 dude, Jordi Fernández, who sees him every day, sees what you see. Why isn't he playing him more?
Do this? Okay.
The reason being is because I said it in future reference. That's why, bro.
Once again, Coach Fernández is with him every day. You only see him in limited minutes. He see him every day. If you think he's 20 and 10 in the future,
right?
Coach Fernández got to see what you see. Otherwise, if he doesn't see what you see, he's playing him less. So instead of it being 30 minutes, 35 minutes, it's 22 minutes. So maybe he doesn't see what you see. Or
maybe
he's wrong. Maybe he's wrong and he need to be somewhere else.
Maybe he does. Maybe he doesn't see what I see. But I'm only telling you from my standpoint. This only what's going on in Leaf brain. This ain't what's going on in everybody else. I don't give a shit about everybody else, man. Like I care about what I think, man. This is my stance, and I'm standing on it firmly by myself. It's 600 acres, bro, and I'm standing on it on my own. I'm saying
in this Leaf.
Like what I'm telling you is I'm just going based off the pattern of what I've seen him coach. That's what I'm seeing. That's all I'm telling you, bro. Like in terms of where it could go and where
because
in terms of where it could go. In terms of where it could go, based off of what Jordi has coached with when he was an assistant coach in Denver and Sacramento, I'm just going off of that trans skill set trajectory. That's it.
Sure.
In
Now,
turn,
if that's true,
now in term,
now if that's true, everything that you're just saying, if that's true, if he coached a young Joker, he coached a young Sabonis, so he's coaching a young Danny Wolf, which means that
yes,
if we're going off that trajectory, he sees. I might not be Sabonis, I might not be Jokic, but he sees something like that in them dudes. So if that's
yes.
true, shouldn't the minutes go up?
I said the minutes should go up, but
The minutes
should,
should go up. Like he played 21.
should and will is two different things.
Maybe
Obviously,
because he does. Maybe because he doesn't see that.
maybe he does, maybe he doesn't. But I see it.
Maybe Danny Wolf doesn't have that.
I see it. That's why it's my goddamn take.
What are you looking at though when you watch Danny Wolf and you see, like, in terms of this skill set? What are you looking at?
Listen, in short roles, what I'm seeing him do is some spectacular stuff. Even when we were tanking last year, a lot of his change of direction and has it off the wing at 7 feet.
He do
I'm
got
like, it's a lot of shit that
He know
I don't think I've ever
got
seen no shit like that before, bro. At his height,
ever. I don't know about ever.
He has legit wing handle at 6'11" with a positive wingspan. He's not a bad defender. And to put this in the context, Joe, he played 2 years at Yale, right? Which isn't the greatest competition. We know that. But he is a smart guy, right? Intelligence is a great expander of development, usually. Then he goes to the Big Ten in Michigan, and he's better.
Dominates.
He was better at Michigan than he was at Yale. And here's a fun fact. He got more efficient from two every single year. He got more efficient from the field every single year. He's upping his three-point volume every single year. You know what that tells me? There's a guy who pays attention to his coaches. He got better throughout the year last year. Now, I'm not really with Leaf on the 2010 and 5, but that's his take. I will say Danny Wolf will be an NBA player. Like, he works way too hard. He is way too talented. He got great touch. He is an incredible passer. And the whole criticism around him at the draft, you know, when he coming out of Michigan, is no NBA team is going to give him the ball enough to replicate his role in Michigan. Who cares? Who cares? I'm talking skill sets. I'm talking putting a guy in the post. The same shit I said about Daron Sharp is he can make a good decision in the middle of the court, and that's pretty dangerous when you're 6'11" and no one can really bother your shooting pocket. I think Danny Wolf has a chance to be really good. Now, I don't see Joker. I don't see DeMontis. But guess what?
I see a little Joker in him.
I think he's a better defender than DeMontis Sabonis.
It sounds to me like you got another foundational piece, which means that if I got Mikel, if I got Igor playing the way that Yegor, I'm sorry, I keep calling
Yegor.
No, that's not the same thing, wrong. But Yegor. So if I have that, and if Danny Wolf is progressing, like you say, sounds like I got my foundational pieces to build around. That's what it sounds like.
This is not a trash organization. No. When I found out that I was on the Nets podcast, I was like, I'm excited. I'm as excited as I can be for a team that's been in the lottery for this long, because this is actually a team that has a good foundation with their coaching staff, a good organization, good culture, and good young players that I can build with. Do they have that transcendent Luka Doncic, Cade Cunningham level star player? I don't know. Shit, I don't think they know. But they're hoping that one of these two backcourt dudes can take that step up. But what they got right now, and I'm going to say it again, they got stabilization on their offense. They got stabilization. You know how much easier Danny Wolf's life is, or Daron Sharp's life is, or Mikel Brown's life is when you got Julius Randle demanding the ball on the post and you got Michael Porter coming off a wing? Like, it just stabilizes everybody's roles. And it's really important that we realize it's not good for your development that I put you outside a role that you could even swim at. Right.
I'm gonna write.
If you're trying to teach a kid,
I'm saying this. I'm writing this down because I'm going to be watching an unhealthy amount of Brooklyn Nets games this year. Yes,
what is an unhealthy amount?
I will. I will be
watching. Hold on. What's this unhealthy shit, bro? Like, what's going on?
I will.
Chill. What I'm saying. Hold on. Let me say that.
Games this year.
Chill. I promise you're going to enjoy the games. You're going to have Nolan Traore, one of the fastest players in the NBA, in the second unit with a Danny Wolf. It's going to be electric. Not to mention one of the upsides for Josh Minot, in my opinion, is that he play above the rim, and you got willing passes in your 1 and 2. Yep. They're going to be looking for Josh on the baseline going to the rim, or cutting to the basket, or cutting to the rim. It's going to be high propane. I know we only got 2 national games, but that's okay. You know what I'm saying? But it's going to be high propane basketball. And I'll leave off saying this. I'll leave off saying this before I pass. Is that y'all can watch the rookies? Y'all talking about how Mikel might be the top 3. Watch the rookies play the Brooklyn Nets. You know what I'm saying? Tap in. You know what I mean? They're going to be versus the Bulls with Caleb versus Darius A-Cup Jr., which we already gave him work. Already seen Gabriel put little Darius A-Cup Jr. on a post. Where you at, Big Ox? And I mean, it's going to be more of that. You know what I'm saying? So tune in, chill. Trust me, chill. It's going to be entertaining.
I'm going to be watching.
Chill. What I'm missing the point on is this unhealthy shit. You said we could win 35 we could win north of 35 games and be at the bottom of the damn East. You told me that on your page.
I said that the Brooklyn Nets could win 35 games this year.
Yes, you told me that shit on your page. You want me to play it back?
Please, you might have to go play that one back because I don't remember.
Look, I got it on the phone because I go to your page.
I don't remember saying that they could win 35 games because wow, if I said that, I'm putting
the context is removed on that. You said you could win 35 games and still be at the bottom of the East. The context is you'll still be at the bottom of the East even if you do win 35 games.
Even if we do win 35 games, that's how good the East is in your eyes, and I understand that.
But he doesn't think they're going to win 35 games. He's saying y'all could do whatever the fuck you want. You're still going to be at the bottom. I disagree with that, but I hear it. I get it because when like here's the thing, Leaf. Which teams are y'all better than in the East? I think that's a good question to ask.
Milwaukee and the Hornets, as right now.
Better than the Hornets. Okay. Are y'all close to the Wizards?
No, not in terms of talent. No.
Damn, so all of Brooklyn FC is higher on Washington than I am. All right, man. I think the Washington Wizards.
I mean, no. Well, Penn, I'll tell you this: the thing with Washington, I don't think there's a possibility that it can't work. Because the thing is that if you got Trae Young, you're gonna win 40-something games. Like, can we all agree on that?
I don't agree with that.
I got
what I will say,
50-something games. I got them winning 50-something games.
Yeah, that 50-something shit. Listen, I'm cool on that, but 50-something, I'm cool on that. But like 40 at minimum, at minimum on your roster, if you have Trae Young on your roster, he has been having Atlanta at middle of the pack between 38 and 43, 40-something wins a season.
Eat it, Penn.
I just got this.
He's worse. He's not who he was 4 years ago. He's a lot worse. Okay.
I think they could be as I think they could be as good as the top 3 seed. I think they could.
The only team I'm like wishy-washy on in terms of will they be better is Indiana, because I don't know what version of Tyrese Halliburton I'm going to see. I don't.
But you know what version of Trae Young you're going to see?
Yeah, because Trae Young didn't have an Achilles injury. Tyrese Halliburton did.
But he wasn't a top 15 player when he went down with the injury. I guess. I mean, look, if the Washington Wizards are good, I'll be happy for AJ DeBonis.
That dude, AJ DeBonis, he going to get a lot of.
He doing between the legs.
AJ DeBonis going to get a lot of one-on-ones because of Trae Young.
Yes, he is, and he probably Trae Johnson is probably going to be one of the most biggest X factors on that team, in my personal opinion.
And we haven't brought up Anthony Davis.
I ain't worried about him. Listen, Ron. Listen. I think I like the improvement of Alex Sarr more than I like AD.
Well, okay, with that being said, then that even goes more so to my point. Like AD, if AD is just an afterthought, I think this is going to be a pretty good team.
Yeah, big day.
I mean, but AD is going to be available for how long on that roster? Like what, 30, 35, 40 games?
If you're lucky.
Well, we'll have to see. The
version of AD that you get now ain't the version that you get in a couple of years ago.
Still a pretty damn good player.
I did that.
Like LeBron already used that version up.
Even to this day, AD's still a walking 20-8,
bro. They fit in the
easy.
So he basically Danny Wolf. Shout outs.
Fellas, I gotta get to these super chats. Chat. Everybody that's watching, everybody that's tapped in, everybody that's listening, salute to you guys. Appreciate you for locking in for the Brooklyn Nets episode. The main question of the day is, will they finally escape the NBA lottery? If you was tapped in today, you got everybody's perspective from top to bottom. We talked the good, the bad, and the ugly with the Brooklyn Nets, but now it is time for us to read these super chats. We don't got too many. We only got a few. So we'll go ahead and dive into these. The first one is from none other than Tupac Westside, who sent through $10 and said, "Morning, fellas. Brooklyn's a lotto team this year. Also heard the JK news. I'm glad. Y'all know how I feel about him. I think we should just experiment with Adu and Vando at the 4 until the trade deadline."
Yeah, we didn't even talk about Jonathan Kuminga going to.
Not no lottery team. That's all I can say. We finna make the play.
Too busy.
The playoffs, and then we're gonna see. We're gonna be hard to stop, bro.
So 2 years, 13 million.
I'm gonna watch at least 10 Brooklyn Nets games this year. At least.
You probably might watch more than 10.
That's what I said. I'm gonna watch at least 10 Brooklyn Nets games this year.
If Jordi is thinking half the things I'm thinking, bro, I'm thinking you watching way more than 15.
Yeah.
Chill. Watch the revenge games. Randall Revenge versus the Knicks. We played them November 2nd. That's early. Watch all of the revenge games. That's 4 right there. Watch Randall return to Minnesota. That's 5 right there. Watch us versus Chicago. That's 6 right there. You know what I'm saying? And then we're in the Atlantic Division. So you know what I mean? It's one of the toughest divisions in the NBA, if you ask me. You know what I'm saying? But it's gonna be some good entertainment.
It's the toughest division in the NBA. They put LeBron in the division, and they gave us the most. They gave us the most back-to-backs.
Right. He's right.
Can I just say? I just wanted to say this one thing.
In the tough division in the East,
Boston, Philly, New York, Toronto.
It's the toughest division in the East for sure.
It's the toughest division in the league.
It's the toughest division in the league.
The Thunder and Nuggets in Portland and Minnesota. Yeah, they all playing the same division.
That's pretty rough.
Them Nuggets looking chicken crispy, man. They not tough no more. I don't know.
The McNuggets.
Yeah, even at the worst, right, they're the 3rd best team in the division. So I think that would be the.
So Oklahoma City, Denver, Minnesota, Portland, and Utah. I mean, that's a pretty tough division. That's serious.
I think the Nets, no offense to the 2 guys up here, are dragging this division down a little bit in terms of difficulty because the other 4 teams are all legitimately teams that you could see yourself coming out of the East. Philly, Boston could be in the Eastern Conference Finals.
You can't say the same thing about that other division though in the West. There's
only
one team that you really can see coming out the West in that division.
No, that's not what he said, Ron. He's talking about the playoffs.
Yes,
no, I get it.
He said in the East, there's 4 teams that can come out the division. I'm saying in the West, the division that Swipe is talking about, there's only 1 team that you guys can see coming out the West.
OKC and Denver could come out of the West. Portland cannot. Utah cannot. Who was the 5th team in that division?
Minnesota.
You think Boston?
Minnesota could. So that's a really tough. I'll give you that. That's a really tough.
2 teams, Minnesota and OKC. Really just OKC though.
Right, but it's the kind of stuff that I understand. Get your blood pressure up. So you think the Boston Celtics could represent the NBA, the Eastern Conference, in the NBA championship this year?
No.
That good?
I think they could be in the Eastern Conference Finals. Why not?
You think they could be that good?
Hell no.
Well, you don't believe in Jason Tatum?
I do believe in Jason Tatum. However,
okay, then stand on your neck.
But that doesn't the injury is not my issue. The problem that I'm having is how much better the Eastern Conference as a whole has gotten.
You got Derek White.
Okay.
You got Jason Tatum.
Okay.
You got Nimi Keita. You got championship center Mitchell Robinson.
Absolutely.
You got a great coach.
Can't play past 5.
You got Paul George,
6th man of the year,
and Paul George is legitimately.
Welcome to the Peyton Pritchard show.
Yep, absolutely. Now, with that being said, you got and to your point, the Eastern Conference Championship. Your Toronto Raptors. You think that if they saw Toronto in the playoffs, you think they could beat Toronto?
They could. They won't. But they could.
But they won't beat Toronto. So how about the defending NBA champions, who they walked down, who they didn't have their best, who they don't now have their second best player? You think they could beat them?
They could, but they won't.
But they won't. So we're taking them off the table.
Bro, I'm gonna say this: if you got Jason Tatum, and you got Peyton Pritchard, and you got Derek White, you got a chance. I'm sorry, and again, in a 7-game series, and I'm not that high on Jaylen Brown. I've never been that high on Jaylen Brown. So I don't even think that's a big deal to lose him. And I like what they did in the draft, and I like Hugo Gonzalez. Okay,
you think Toronto could be in the East Finals? Penn?
Where does Miami fit in all of this?
I think Miami's gonna be fighting for their playoff lives. I do.
Yeah, their backcourt stuff.
Fighting to get into the playoffs?
Ron, let's not forget, from 5 through 8 last year was separated by 1 game. That's it. One game. That doesn't mean that you garbage. Why are you looking at me crazy, Leaf? From 5 to 8, you only had one game. That means that in a week, if you're bad, you could go from hosting a playoff series to being out of the playoffs. You understand what that means? All of those guys from the Eastern Conference. And Leaf, you are so emotional when you talk basketball. Do you understand that the Eastern Conference? This is what I want to make sure that
meat kettle.
This is what I want to make sure that understand the difference between emotion. Understand the difference between emotion and passion.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't have passion at all. Okay. So Leaf don't got passion at all. That's what he's saying.
Ashen.
So Leaf don't got passion at all. That's what he's saying.
Ashen.
That's what he said. That's what he's saying. That's what he's saying.
Show us your fifth crashed out of the
I heard him
show.
say it.
Now.
So let's make sure we're remembering
Ash.
Let's make sure we're remembering what this Eastern Conference was last year, right? Make sure we remember that. So we get Tyrese Halliburton back in the Eastern Conference. We get Jason Tatum back in the Eastern Conference. Giannis is coming back healthy. And these are guys who didn't make the All-Pro team, by the way. These are guys who didn't make the All-Pro team, who made the All-Pro team the year before. In addition to the other guys who made the All-Pro team who are coming back this year, like Jalen Duren, who's going to be better, like Jalen Johnson on that Atlanta team, that's going to be better. I don't think you give Penn in particular, who loves coaches. I don't think you give Quinn Snyder nearly as much credit as a coach that you should give him. I think he's a much better coach than you give him credit for. But
I've never talked about Quinn Snyder. What the fuck? What am I supposed to do?
But for a team to be one game out of being in the play-in tournament, and now this conference has actually gotten better this year, that says a lot about the Miami Heat, who could win 48, 49 games and be fighting for their playoff lives. Not because they're whack. They could be in the 5th spot and be a game and a half out the 9th spot. That could happen. That could very well happen for the Miami Heat. That's fighting for your playoff life.
So basically, you got how many 50-win teams in the East this year?
New York better be one.
You got Manhattan. All right, fine, whatever. You got Philly.
I don't think Philly's going to be as good as people think they're going to be. I don't think Philly's
so
going to be as good as I think Philly's another team that's going to be fighting for their playoff lives.
So you got Toronto winning 50 games?
I think Toronto's going to be
Oh my god.
I'm not the 50 game benchmark is not it. No, because you could win 47, 48 games and be fighting for your playoff life. You could you could have a bunch of teams mixed up in that space right there. Absolutely, you could do that. So I'm not saying that I'm not
it's
saying
not
that,
cap. I got video proof.
I'm not saying that just because you win 50 games, like that's the benchmark. No, it's gonna be a bunch of teams that's gonna win especially in the East, between 45 and 50 games. There's a bunch of them that's gonna do that. Plenty of those teams. Ron, you suck, by the way.
Penn, how many of those teams you got that's winning between 45 and 50 games in the East?
Remind me of the teams again, and I will just go through.
Miami,
the Atlantic Division.
Miami.
So 45 to 50.
We'll start at the top.
Yeah.
We'll start at the top.
Are we saying 50 or 45 to 50?
No, let's say 50. Let's say 50. Because I just want to know which teams do you think?
Miami.
Nope.
Yes or no?
No.
Washington.
No. Nope.
Toronto.
50? No.
Philly.
Maybe.
Orlando.
No.
New York.
Yes.
Atlanta.
No.
Indiana.
No.
Cleveland.
Yes.
Boston.
Yes.
So that's 10 teams right there. Right? That's 10 teams.
I don't got the 51 thing.
And of those 10 teams, we're looking at between 45 to 50 wins, but not 50.
Yeah,
right.
But personally, I don't view 50 games as the barometer for the playoff success.
I don't either.
I'm looking at teams that could do well in the regular season. Boston has a very good game plan to succeed in the regular season. In the playoffs, who knows? I really trust the Raptors and the Indiana Pacers in the playoffs because they have proven playoff performance and guys who've been there and have done well in the playoffs. RJ Barrett, Scotty Barnes, Kawhi Leonard, proven playoff players. Pascal Siakam, Tyrese Halliburton, proven playoff players. Ivica Zubac, that's the guy that I trust in those big moments. So, it doesn't really matter to me. But yeah, like you can't have like 5, 6, 50 win teams because you got to understand how 50 win. I'll tell you why you can't, because the bottom of the East is no longer garbage. You know, in a conference where you have 5 50-win teams, you almost always have like 3 teams with like 20 wins or less. Almost always, because these wins are padded against somebody. You're not padding wins against the Nets, the Wizards, Milwaukee Bucks. Like the Bucks could get hot. The Bucks could win 27 games, 26 games. I think my projection for the Nets was like, honestly, like I said 33 to be funny, whatever. But like I could see them winning 30 games. I could totally see them winning 30 games, which is a 10 win improvement over last year. But they could fuck around, and if Michael Porter Jr. is healthy, and if Mikel Brown's a little bit better, then he's a little further ahead, and Danny Wolf progresses, which I suspect he will, and Josh Minot continues to get better, and Jordi is a really good coach. A lot of things go right for the Nets. They can win 35 games. So if that team's winning 35 games, that cuts somebody else's win totals, because if you look at what Boston did last year, what did they do? They beat the shit out of the bottom of the East. They killed them.
Fellas, right? I gotta get to the next super chat. We'll talk more about what we think teams would do and all of that good stuff. Breezy, Leaf, you guys may not get an opportunity to come up here and talk about it, but there's always Chill with Chill where you guys can go and set the record straight.
I mean, I'm cool. I come up here once every 3 years, man. Like I'm at that point now. So I mean,
Leaf, I'm not saying that you can. I'm just saying if you do come up here, we might not.
Well, apparently I don't got no passion, bro. So I mean, I gotta, I gotta work on that.
You always been a troll. You don't listen.
A troll? What?
Yeah, you got passion.
When have I trolled?
You don't listen.
When have I trolled though? Like, there's no history of me trolling.
He came up here. He stood on his takes. I salute that.
No, he didn't. Because Chill asked him to name the player, and he ain't named the player.
That was his take. Well, he got to name a player because he said he didn't want to name a player.
Leaf, I will say this: if you ever want somebody to defend you for murder, thievery, anything, call Penn. Call Penn. He gonna defend you no matter what.
I'm not on trial.
You would never do those things.
I'm not on trial.
Wait a second.
Hold on. Wait. Let me just say. Hold on. Wait.
By the way, he hasn't passed the bar in America. He's currently passed the bar in Canada.
Let me just say this, bro.
That Harvard education can get you past the bar.
Swipe, let me just say this. This dude is not moving me off of no square, bro. Like at all. I said what I said, and I'm standing on it firmly. He want to call me emotional. He going to call me troll. When I never trolled him, I always support everything he do. So I don't even know where this shit is coming from.
Yes, you did, Leaf. You told me. I vividly remember you telling me that the Brooklyn Nets were going up against the New York Knicks, and they was in a dog fight against the Knicks. Knicks beat about 20. What are you talking about?
First off, I don't know. I don't remember ever you saying. I don't remember ever saying that to you.
Yeah, you trolled and forgot about it.
I don't remember ever. No, because you talk more than me. You talk 6 days a week. You got 2 shows on 2 different channels. You don't see me talk shit. Stop telling me that I say something and I don't.
I remember you saying
that's enough passion for you. Is it? Is that passionate?
Oh my God! This is
goddamn.
Oh my goodness!
You say all shit all the time that I don't react to, because you got 5 other people up here all the time that's gonna smoke you on your shit. I don't need to do it. Is that passionate enough for you?
No, it ain't.
No, it ain't.
No, it's not. It's
this
still
might be moment of the year.
Then I just can't impress you. Leaf is just not gonna ever impress you. But the crazy thing is, I got a lot of respect for you, though.
You don't, though, Leaf.
I don't?
No, you don't.
You don't.
Said he did.
I don't?
I know Leaf. So y'all know. I know who Leaf.
You know me. So you know me now. So we done partnered up. We done dap here. We done met up in Brooklyn. We done got chicken sandwiches, all that type of shit. And I just said, man, I respect shit you do. That's what you heard me say?
You don't have to say it, Leaf. I know you.
I don't have to say it, but me going to your page and be like, hey, what's going on, Chill? You don't ever hear me say Grill Town, none of that shit in the chat, ever.
Oh, yes, you did, Leaf. That's not true right there.
No, I did not. No, I did not. No, I did not. No, I did not. I knew you was gonna say that because you already know that. Because you know all your trolls by name, and I'm not on that list.
You definitely on that list, but
no, I'm not.
You're just not as bad as them dudes. You just not as bad as those dudes. But even still. Even if that's not true, I mean, Leaf is Leaf. That no doubt.
Leaf is Leaf. But somehow I'm on your trolling list with people that have called you out your name Who the emotional person here?
No, they ain't that bad. No, they ain't that bad.
Who the emotional person here?
You ain't.
I know
that
who
bad.
the passionate person is. Shit.
Who the emotional person?
It ain't me because
I'm doing that.
I'm not yelling at you. You yelling. I'm not yelling right now.
So I'm yelling. So I'm emotional.
It kind of looked like emotion versus emotion to me.
Chill, you try to be a Nets fan. You see how
all right.
Goddamn, Chill.
I gotta get to the next super chat, y'all.
Pen, you actually did sway me a little bit with some of the stuff she was talking about. That's why I'm gonna watch.
Goal, man.
That's why I'm gonna watch more Brooklyn games this year.
Look, I think this real peacefully. I know you gotta get the super chats. I just want to say this real quick. It's hard to support a bad team. Some of y'all don't have empathy because y'all be switching up on bad teams every single time they get bad. But
exactly,
it's really hard to support a bad team, yo. And I'm just trying to say, like, the preseason. Sometimes, if you were supporting a bad team, sometimes the preseason all you got. You trying to take the preseason away? Come on, man.
That's exactly what it is, Penn. It's a whole lot of bunny hopping going on around here, and nobody will want to stay on one spot. I stand firm on this shit. I moved all the way to Texas, but my hat still stays the same.
B's still on the cap.
He could. Yeah, there you go.
All right, y'all. Bob Solo said, "Where is Leaf at?"
I'm right here.
We here at the mayor's office of the Knicks. Cowboy Bob believes the Nets will play well, working upwards. Yankees, Rice, the best catcher.
Man,
2026 champs, Knicks, at Swiper, stop lying on Cat. Go New York, go.
Time out. So see, this is the shit right here I don't like. See, the thing is, in the last 11 years, somebody in the NBA front office decided to end a whole bunch of 40 and 50 year goddamn championship droughts, and now niggas is talking shit. This is what I don't like. Come on, bro. Y'all have paper bags over your heads, bro, for 8 straight years. Leave me alone.
One little championship, and now the Knicks fans think they could poke their chest out because they win one little championship.
Nobody care about
that.
We need to have more people from New York up here because every single time we bring up someone from New York up here, they cook.
DJ Cushmore sent through $4.99 and said, "I told Chill on his show the Nets will be a 7-8 seed. I stand on that. 45 wins at least. Playoff team." Who I believe?
I ain't gonna lie, he reaching.
He reaching.
I had us at 30, bro. Like he reaching.
Another emotional Nets fan reaching. Yakman 8681 said, "Too ominous."
It's ominous.
Oh,
pick up a book.
Too
you
ominous.
want one? I got some back here. You
nah, I'm cool. I'm allergic to those. Derek Mitchell sent through $5 and said the NFL is ending the Pro Bowl game while still honoring players. Do you think the NBA would ever follow suit and eliminate the All-Star game?
No, because it's the All-Star. It's All-Star weekend. That's the highlight of the weekend. So no.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I just read Ox's super chat. Oh my god.
I don't know.
That's funny.
The way y'all talk about the All-Star game, everybody seems to hate it. I could see it.
How was it this season that just passed, Ron?
It was cool.
Right.
It was cool, but it's still like the minute the All-Star game, the minute we start creeping into February, it's gonna be the same thing. Oh man, the All-Star game is mid. Oh, nobody's gonna play defense. Oh, we hate the All-Star game. Yada yada yada.
Better than what it's been in a long time. So
yeah, but I mean that doesn't mean it's gonna be good this year to people's standards or to what people want to see.
Ron,
but I'm just going on a typical dialogue of the All-Star game for the last 10 years. People every year it gets worse and worse and worse.
The Pro Bowl turned into a flag football game.
People hate the dunk contest. People want to abolish the dunk contest. It's just like All-Star weekend. I personally like it. I just don't like the negative, just conversations around it and the dialogue and stuff.
Still like the 3-point contest
and the skills competition.
They scoring 200 points, 300 points, like 400 points. Like they got to
good
play so
hoops.
deep.
Y'all don't want to see buckets?
Nope.
I mean, I love.
Hey, y'all favorite teams be damn near giving up 200 points.
Like compete.
I mean, if Seattle had a team, they'd be giving up 300.
I bet you if we had a team today, we would be better than the Nets.
Yo,
y'all be better than Sacramento for sure, but y'all won't be better than us.
If we had a team today, we would step in the league better than the Nets.
No.
Ron, all your FC's underwater.
Well, I mean, y'all about to be the bottom of the East. Y'all the bottom of the East. We the bottom of the West. Hey, it'd be a fight. It'd be a fight for the bottom of the league.
That'll be way worse than that.
But what I
way
will say is,
worse.
I looked at it,
And I'm gonna be right here doing this.
And I'll
we
be
will
right
see.
here with you. I'll be right here with you.
I can't wait for the expansion draft. Oh, I promise you, we are going to be better than the Nets in 2 years.
You can't wait for it. I promise.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Your starting power forward going to be Julius Randle.
That's nasty work.
That's their starting.
Yeah, but at 34,
power.
Get used to it.
Okay, for sure. D-Rock in Brooklyn said, first time here, y'all talking my team. Are y'all keeping receipts and marking words? We will make the play-in. A better PG gets us into the playoffs.
I'm here for it. Like I said, Breezy, I will be at least 10 Brooklyn games this year. I'm actually gonna take a look at the schedule and see what exactly the Brooklyn Nets actually doing this year in terms of their schedule, and I'm gonna mark down the games that I'm going to watch. Like I'm when they play Cleveland, I'm watching that game. Indiana, I'm watching that game. The Celtics, I'm watching that game. Detroit, I'm gonna watch that game. When they play the Knicks, I'm watching that game.
You might get a thumbnail on your channel. We might get a.
And then he's gonna come up here and say,
"Hey, Chill-Town, listen. Hey, Chill-Town, listen. I've been doing 2 hours and 30 minutes of bad basketball for the last 2 years on my channel. I don't got no problem doing another 2.
I'm watching it. I'm gonna watch some Brooklyn Nets games this year. Now, unlike I tried to do it 2 years ago with that San Antonio team before they got Wemby, and that shit was like drinking.
That team started 9-3 though.
Somebody say Julius Randle was better than Wembanyama.
Chill. Let me say this. The two things for one I want to say before I leave. One, keep this NBA parity until the Nets get a championship too. Everybody, all of these different teams getting an NBA championship, include us in that.
That's what I'm saying.
It's 10 teams left that don't got an NBA championship. 3 expansion teams came to the league after the Nets and won a championship. Miami, the Toronto, and I forget the third one. But case in point is keep that parity until the Brooklyn Nets win an NBA championship. We really want one. And again, we looking around seeing who has 0. We gonna be here, you know what I'm saying? But go ahead.
Bro, Breeze, you know they're gonna change it up, bro. Like, come on, bro. What are we talking about? Like the CBAs don't stay the same for a long time, bro. It is what it is.
It's a different NBA champion every year. Keep it going until we get to the Brooklyn Nets, and then you know what I'm saying. You know,
and last time I checked, we owe the NBA money, bro. So I ain't gonna do that.
All right, With My Crew sent through $100 and said, random question: 2021 pre-injury Lonzo Ball versus current Caruso. I low-key got Lonzo. And the Bucks clear the Nets. Bucks got like 7 MFs better than anyone. Sans top 3 in Brooklyn. The Bucks.
Yeah, I like
the Bucks. I don't think the Bucks are gonna be that tough. Again, the Bucks couldn't win it without an efficient point guard, and I don't think they got an efficient point guard. Like they got talent, but they don't got no efficient point guard. Hero's not a point guard to me. He's like a 2. So I don't believe they're going.
I don't know who they got at 1. Rollins.
Yeah, they got Rollins, KPJ.
Man.
They got talent.
Who they got a coach?
Rollins at the point guard. We not skating them, bro.
Rollins been at the point guard last 2 years.
Who they got a coach?
Our point guard way better than their point guard for one. Mikel
Taylor Jenkins.
Taylor Jenkins.
Mikel.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah, Taylor Jenkins this time.
He's a good coach.
Yeah.
All right. Big Ox Media said, who is hunting Keon Ellis?
He got hunted last year. He got hunted last year in the playoffs.
I watched the playoffs. His issues were offensive, not defensive. I'm telling y'all, man. Like I'm gonna have to go back and listen to that segment.
He got hunted as a bench player.
Yes, they went after him.
Maybe in a post-up situation where they had a heavier bodied player or a bigger player, but like
do that.
Okay, cool. He's 6'4", 180.
I mean, they did get swept, bro. So I mean.
All right, Bob Solo sent through $9.99 and said, yo, I said the Nets are moving upwards. Damn that shout out. Respect to the little homie. And I'm a hater? Fine. F the Nets now. And I'm trolling. One y'all waiting. Also, stop letting Swiper lie and hide. Cat wasn't Finals MVP. Go New York, go.
Cowboy, bro, you gotta come on, man. Stop.
I mean,
you
it's
and the
easy
rest of
for
man.
them to.
It's real
it's
easy to sit in Manhattan, bro. Like, come on, man. Like, you acting like that's some hard shit to do.
I checked. I
don't even look at front offices out like James Dolan had y'all wearing paper bags, man. That's on baby, man. Come on, stop, man.
50 loss season, 5 of them.
I seen the schedule. I seen what your homie Adam Silver did. Y'all must have invited him in over to the last party y'all had. He gave us 3 back-to-backs out of 4 times playing the Knicks.
Exactly.
And the Knicks got 1 back-to-back. So definitely favored by Adam Silver and company. But again, you could hate all you want. That ain't gonna stop Randall's revenge. So I'm gonna remember that. So yeah, we gonna see November 2nd.
All right, Big Ox Media sent through $4.99 and said, "Swiper trauma dumping to a child is insanity. Do better."
I'm surprised someone else picked up on that, but I was laughing my ass off when I saw that. That's hilarious.
Shout out Swiper, man. You gotta do what you gotta do. Also, shout out to Akeem Benny, real life Nets fan.
Shout out
to Akeem.
That's my guy right there. Shout out to him. That's my guy.
Kane, what up, man?
Shout out to the real life Nets fans. Baron Ryan said dubious handle will lead the tank as tank commander and get my rebound MPJ as his lieutenant. Yeah.
Can't tank without a draft pick.
Bryant sent through a members chat and said free Dirk.
Who's Dirk?
Dirk. Oh no, Dirk ain't getting out. It's over with. Nah, his man testified against him. They got the thing and all that. It's over with.
Damn. Big Ox Media also sent through $4.99 again and said, not a big deal to lose 28, 7, and 6. And this guy calls himself a ball knower.
Who is 28, 7, and 6?
Yeah, who is that?
Who's that?
I have no clue who. Sorry, Big Ox.
He had more characters. I wish you could have said the name.
Maybe up your bread limit so you can give us more hints or something. Yeah. But shout out to 28, 7, and 6. We got another $10 super chat from Harlem Hoops Rich. Said, quick question for Chill. An OG from the barbershop was talking about CC playing reminds him of Magic. That's way before from my time. Wanted to know if that's a good take or makes no sense.
It makes no sense.
So to the previous one, just so we can respect our fellow panelist Ox, he was talking about Jaylen Brown. 28, 7, and 6 is probably Jaylen Brown. And I did say it's not that big a deal that the Celtics lost him. Yes, Ox, I still know ball. And no, I don't think it's that big a deal that they lost him. Yeah.
Hey, Harlem Hoops Rich, CC better than Magic. There you have it.
No, she's not. And the question is for Chill. Your name not Chill. Chill, please.
No, it doesn't make sense. No.
That makes a lot of sense.
If
you actually watching the WNBA, you wouldn't know.
Are you tweaking?
She ain't got the game. She ain't got the charisma. She ain't even got the defense. And I don't even think Magic was a good defender at all. And she ain't even got the defense.
She damn sure don't.
Hey, Magic ain't have haters like CC.
Yes, yeah, he did.
Yes, he did.
Not like this.
Yes, he did.
Like this.
Not like this.
Ron, they wrote an article about him, called him Tragic Magic. What are you talking about?
Hey, that happens every day for CC. That happens every hour for CC. It's a whole group of people on Twitter right now bashing Caitlin Clark.
Hold up, Ron. Listen, as a person that took a road trip all the way through Middle America, CC owns Middle America. CC owns it.
She owns all of America.
No, Middle America, like all the center, all of them rectangular states, bro. She owns them shits.
Blue states? Nope.
Yeah.
Red states.
All right, the Jonathan Frazier sent through a members chat and said, "Hey, Ron, we having an MO stream tonight, or are you gonna keep pump faking and ducking this fade? Also, 3 things guaranteed in life: death, taxes, and Ron starting the show late. Do your job, fool. Wow. I don't even have nothing to say to that. He just took a whole members chat and lined me up. Damn. All right. Toon JD sent through a members chat and said, dub semantics, dub origins.
That's pretty ominous.
No, she wasn't the playmaker that Magic was.
And Magic ain't the scorer that she is.
Yeah, he was a better scorer.
She like a LaMelo type of playmaker at best.
You're right though, Ron. He was a better scorer than her. Mm-hmm.
Wait, what CC are we talking about?
What other
every CC?
What other
I'm just
what other CC?
I want you
to think about CCs, Ron. That's what
I'm trying to clarify. I don't know if you're talking about the same CC I'm talking about.
Okay, so I want you to think right now about CCs, Ron. What other CC is there?
It's only one CC that I.
That's what we talking
about. Ron, you can't possibly be on this
Magic,
on this
she's
train
a
like
better
that.
scorer than Magic Johnson. Like, come on. I'll give her the passer, or I'll give Magic the passer. Caitlin Clark is a better scorer than Magic Johnson in her league.
This isn't even
a better scorer. This isn't even a conversation. What?
Hold up. Didn't Magic put up 42 in the finals game?
A game. Caitlin Clark is third in her league in scoring. It might be fourth right now, fourth or fifth, but at a point, she has been the third best scorer in her league.
PRA merchants will never understand what Magic Johnson did to lift that Lakers offense, but go check out that Lakers offense throughout the 80s. He was running the best offense in the league for nearly 10 years.
Running the best off, him running the offense wasn't his primary. Like,
the question is passing. If he's the engine behind the best offense, and we can make a really good
case that I said scoring. Like, yes, Magic's a better passer. He's a better playmaker. He runs the offense better. I said scoring.
I'm not doing the whole real talk Caitlin Clark is trash gimmick because I really don't believe that. I think she's a fantastic basketball player, but the way you talk about her, you act like she arrived.
She like that.
She ain't even better than Olivia Miles. She ain't better than
she sure ain't.
So you trying to put her in conversation she don't belong in. And by the way,
take your ass to the back. Leaf, you go with him. Y'all make out back there. It's FIFA Bro said, salute Breeze and Leaf. Bob Solo said, at Swiper, he left right before my super chat, called him out. Stay running. Damn. Hey, Breezy, appreciate you for pulling up. Leaf, appreciate you for coming through too. Go Brooklyn. They better than the Knicks. That's all I know. And, that's that. Y'all got anything to say on the way out?
Just youtube.com /
Please subscribe
Leaf47.
to Big Fan Breezy.
Yeah, Leaf4788 on youtube.com. Shout out to the ABSN network, shout out to the Hardcore Sports Network in conjunction with my page. Leaf is the league, and Nets visual episodes coming back this season, man. Appreciate everybody in the chat. W passion, not W emotion.
All right, y'all.
I just want to I just wanted to invite Ron to Fan of the People episode. I'd love to hear about how the expansion team coming to your city. Want to know just your journey as a fan. And please subscribe to Big Fan Breezy and shout out to the Player's Choice, my favorite sports show, man. I love y'all.
Y'all know what to do. Go subscribe. We'll catch y'all tomorrow. We're talking about the Indiana Pacers. Can they get back to championship form? We out, y'all.
Yep. Peace.